Because I'm worth it.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello?
I just clicked I forgot to take it down.
Just need a little help. It's fine.
Yeah. It's been one of those days.
I should have had an Arudai face up to jump scare everybody if that was what we're going to do.
Here, let me pop this up. This is what I meant to have up, but I forgot. Mudang! Most stylish list.
I mean, it was either going to be him or Lena Dunham.
You know what? I think I should take a page out of Mudang's style and just walk around naked.
Yeah, or you can little grass.
Well,
that's the best bit. That's the best thing about being that morbidly brave. Nobody can see your bits anyway.
Mudang's fupa, it'd be huge.
Mudang.
Well, that's it. No, nobody's seen it. You just like
nobody
and the bupa, the big upper. No, it'd be bupa.
Boombas.
It is
big
like
upper butt area.
It is weird how Mudang is simultaneously like spherical and triangular.
There you go.
Like it's a weird hybrid shape.
How can you be both shapes simultaneously?
Like a square circle.
Hi, Dan.
Oh my god. Hi, Dan. Dan, are you gonna wear the Mudang style? Naked and apparently wet looking.
He's probably taking.
Well, he's probably in the shower. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Saturday, so.
Oh yeah. Are you shaving your coin purse? Is it date night? Now that I know what it is, I'm very invested in this.
You only do that on date nights. It's like, well,
I don't know. Do guys shave for no reason whatsoever? I don't know.
I don't know.
Strangely, men don't really discuss shaving habits strange with each other, strange as that may seem.
Well,
but I can't imagine
he does it on a live stream.
I can't imagine it's that common to shave your coin purse in the first place. Unless you're a leftist, I could understand them. Like if you're in Portland, they probably shave it all off. They want to look the same as everybody else.
Oh,
in fact, they've probably got so little testosterone they don't have any hair there in the first place.
It's the only time you get effort, ladies. Okay, after the second date, you get what you get.
Okay, the length of the relationship is dictated by the length of hair.
In Portland, on the first date, the man has to shave the woman.
Really?
Oh,
yeah. It's either that or give her 2 flaming sambucas, get rid of that hair on her top lip.
Okay, I will say, as a girl, there are areas that are must groom no matter what. No, pits, upper lip, eyebrows. I think for most girls, a bikini, I guess, if you're in a warm area. Everything thereafter is.
I was walking through a city many years ago at this point, probably like 15 years ago or something, and I saw this woman walk past me with a full-on mustache, like thick.
Was it the bearded lady from the
adult
circus?
Movie star? Which you'd never be. It's just mustache.
The mustache lady.
I was so stunned. I had to walk back to have a second look and be like, I've never seen anything like that before in my life. This is bizarre.
What's going on with your
circus?
What is this?
This needs to be an exhibit. I've never.
I mean, if it was a circus show, at least you could understand it. But this was just in the middle of a city, and I was like, you get like jump scared. It was like being in the Matrix, and the lady in the red dress walks past.
Did you just turn into Steve Irwin? Like, wow.
I was next to her.
Wow.
I think she had a full mustache, and then just walk off. And I'm like, I need to confirm that I didn't hallucinate.
Maybe she waxed it because of you. So
I should hope so. Look, if I've shamed one person into waxing her mustache, that was a good deed for the day.
Well, okay. I also saw the chat. Legs I think it depends on the person you are.
No, it doesn't. Shave your legs.
I was gonna say I don't have much hair.
So
I think I'll grow my leg hair out for the next time I see you, Disbrew, and you tell me if I need to.
all
His
women
face
need
looks
to.
Disgusted. You know
But
what?
this isn't something. This isn't a matter of opinion where someone go, "No, actually, I
they're
think it looks
hairy.
good on you."
They're hairy right now. Do you want to see, chat?
This isn't a point of.
Of course they want to see.
Of course, like what a stupid question.
Look at this. Look at this. It's not hairy.
Like, chat can lower their standards below hairy legs, but if we're talking about what you should be doing,
no, like I think maybe it's an Asian girl.
it's
thing.
like no one's going to get a woman back to their bedroom and then go, "Oh no, just leave." Like that's not going to happen just because she's got hairy legs. So they can be like, "Okay, I'll put up with it." But if you're on about preference, I've never known a man go, "I really like the hairy legs."
They're probably out there though. You think they're not?
You know,
God.
Well, there's someone for everybody. There's
You know what
always
is
another crescent.
The crazy thing I've seen, women can have hair on their nipples, like full on dark, wiry hair.
Mm.
Yeah. The first time I saw that was impressive. But then again, there's guys who have
It's
like
impressive.
I don't know why she's saying this as if people didn't know. That's the
I don't
right.
know. I don't know women can have nipple hairs.
I guess they can. Yeah.
They can have
I've
hair
never personally
anywhere.
seen it, but I believe it. But
sorry,
you work
double hawk.
in.
I was gonna. It'd be weird if Rick was like, "Well, from my wide breadth of experience,
I've seen lots of boobs and some of them have hair.
I've seen a lot of boobs and I've seen a lot of state of hair on boobs at this rate.
And that was before she went to the work looking at
Are you okay, Dan? See, there you go.
It's a lot easier than a coin purse.
Wow, Emilio, you're fasting during the holiday season. Good on you.
Good for you. I'm doing
not.
OMAD right now because I'm eating bread.
It's because no one can get food to him as he falls down the well.
Oopsies.
Like every
love
week he's
OMAD.
further down. It's like the rope doesn't reach anymore. They drop the food down there, but he's falling at the same speed.
Oh, this is really good. This cherry drink.
Ooh, what are you drinking?
Grey Goose
Cherry
with
drink.
black cherry tart juice, like natural, and a couple of maraschino cherries in there. You can't see them though. What, Disbrew?
A cherry drink.
Well, no,
They just said it.
I've literally heard people in America refer to it as a drink as purple drink. I'm like, that is the most obtuse
At least I
name.
didn't say red. It is cherries a
drink.
flavor.
No, there was
There's cherries in here.
It was Asmongold says, "Yeah, I used to drink the purple
Oh.
drink," and his chat was like, "Yeah, we know what that is." I'm like, "What?"
But it's
It's like,
purple
"Oh,
drink.
we know I drink by colorings."
Like
That
I don't know.
purple stuff.
He just
grape?
used to call it purple drink.
I thought
Yeah.
it was grape juice.
The purple stuff.
Okay,
No, it comes in a bottle, apparently. I don't know.
So
I'm not
you're
American.
Purple drink.
I just know everyone in the chat knew what he meant. That's all I know.
Multi raises a good point. Trey says stuff like that. You know what I mean?
I'm so Asian. I don't know what purple drink is. Or sorry, purple drink.
Do you ever
Well, I
see-
assumed it was an American thing.
Do you ever see the Dave Chappelle sketch where they're like making fun of Sunny D? He's like the little black kid's back there. He's like, I want that purple stuff, and there's like a princess says purple in the back. I know the chat knows what I'm talking about. If you've seen the
Okay.
Chappelle show,
We love chat. Oh, it's a drug?
there is one. Okay, what I'm talking about.
No,
is
he was
actual,
talking
like,
about a drink.
There is, but there's like a purple drink that like I think rappers used that had like they would pour like cough syrup or something into it. Yeah, Hunter, the cough
And
syrup and
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid.
No, I think
Oh.
this was actually. I thought it was a drink.
Well,
there were TikToks
is.
where people were buying a drink and saying, "I found purple drink." It was in the shop. I don't know.
Okay.
I just assumed it was an
you're
actual
right.
drink.
Guys, when I
Emilio's
go
right.
to the States, I'm going to go and find purple drink. The non-drug kind. Okay, guys?
Yeah, she's like, "Well, now I know it's that. I'm definitely getting it when I'm over there."
I am drinking Bullet bourbon with Dr. Pepper Zero. I'm a fan of these.
So you're gonna spoil
Huge.
a good whiskey.
So, well, yeah. It tastes good. Do you
Don't
want
hog
me
it.
trashed by
That
the
was a
end of the
very
show?
alcoholic move. That was.
Do you want me trashed by the end of the show?
Probably.
don't
You're
know.
asking the wrong person.
Like, yeah, in general.
Yes, I would like it. Drink up.
I thought this was the show was about. Well, let me go
Well.
get my purple drink then.
I still have to post. I actually just found, because we had so much stuff from our road trip, and I found a video that I was supposed to post on my like food and vlog channel of we were trying the
I don't think I
cheese
could even
nuggets,
pronounce drink
remember?
that way if I tried. It was like there was multiple
So-
vowels in the center of that word.
So the next time, what I was getting at was next time X-rays with me will get purple. I'll record her trying the purple drink. I'll get a really good one. Okay, don't worry. I know what to do.
I'm scared.
I'll get her the purple drink, and then I'll also get her a purple soda, grape soda, the purple soda.
Oh, everyone thinks I'm spoiling the bourbon with Dr. Pepper. I love Dr. Pepper.
I
If
have led a
after-
rebellion.
After this, I will drink
Yeah,
the bourbon by itself. Okay.
let her have her Dr. Pepper. She's probably had a long
It's like-
day.
I'm not a whiskey purist to the point where it's like, oh my god, you can't put ice in it. I think ice in whiskey is nice, but my
Yeah.
issue was I got so lazy buying ice. Now I just drink whiskey. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Someone said that you just need like a few drops of water to air out or flavor the whiskey anyways. You don't need a whole cube of ice. I don't know.
Do you
I
want
like a
Arudai's
lot.
opinion on? Do you want Arudai's opinion on this topic?
I don't care. He's a furry.
Is he
You
really?
just changed it, you creamy asshole.
Now
Why-
I'm
why is
really,
the
like,
butthole
actually scared of
creamy?
him.
Arudai, why is the butthole creamy?
I have a
Did you
longer
have
clip.
anything to do with it?
I'm scared.
If you found out who he was saying that
You
to,
called me Sevi.
You
Too
just
late.
changed it, you creamy asshole.
that clip goes on unironic for like 3 minutes in total.
Why
Because
would he call
he
Sebi
gets-
a creamy butthole?
he gets so embarrassed, like he goes bright red, and he's like, "My cheeks are burning!" Like you just can't. Like Sevi's there cackling like a witch for the entire 3 minutes. It's because they were playing Veil God, and so he asked her what his pronoun should be, and she said creamy and frothy. So he was calling her an asshole, but he just used her pronouns first. And I hadn't thought about what he was saying.
Imagine he said frothy butthole.
that comes afterwards.
Hey! Ew. Ah, this is almost as bad as the coin purse. Ah!
Wow.
Hooray!
Wiley Dave, thank you for being a member for 16 months. Merry Christmas to you too. Hail all, let's go.
Look
Probably
at-
scared my neighbor out loud. My neighbor should be like, Eric Stratton, thank you for being a member for 12 months, 1 year. C.S. Lewis had a radio show about theology leading to Masterpiece Mere Christianity. His interaction with callers, super chats, formed much of the book. I have a whole collection of C.S. Lewis books, and I not like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. They're like, it's nice. It's other types of books, and I really like them.
The more you find out about C.S. Lewis,
Sure, I'll grab.
he had a lot of interesting points about a lot of things.
Yeah.
You kind of just think of him as a childhood author, and he was like, oh no, he did all this kind of stuff, philosophy and that kind of thing. My favorite thing to do on Twitter is when everyone goes, oh my god, you're being childish. I just post this quote. Like, I don't even say anything. I just wholesale copy the quote. It works for so many things.
Sorry, I almost dropped it. I'm back. Hold on. I have to finish these. I haven't read much of them, but it's a whole collection.
Oh,
I like it.
cool.
Yeah, really nice. Which one did I start? The Great Divorce, I think, or Mere Christianity. I don't remember which one. I have a bookmark in one of them, but they're good. We'll keep it over here. I'm gonna knock over
Love
something.
a little good book set.
Yeah.
I want in the future to have a library of all my books, my media, just lined up along the wall. But we'll see.
I would love that. Like all the walls just surrounded, like shelves on
how
all of them.
Gary's places with all his action figures. but with
That's
books.
like someone who's got like mild OCD, right? I like things to be neat. Like my background's never too cluttered. Like to me, this is very cluttered, but it's neat. Gary's is like that wouldn't drive me crazy because it's neat clutter.
Well, it's
Like, it's not-
it is organized as well. Like
It's
everything's got its own
organized, like,
section.
Not clutter. I didn't mean clutter, but like he's got so much stuff. Like someone who's like kind of a minimalist.
You gotta
Like
be
me,
very
I'd be
careful
like,
walking.
if you sneeze wrong, the whole thing comes down. Like,
Sometimes they do fall down just sporadically.
they ever fall down when he's live? Like,
Not that I've seen.
oh,
But it
I
could
think
be
there has been something. I'm sure I remember a clip.
maybe the old studio.
I think
could
it
be the
was
old
at his old
studio.
place. Yeah.
Like you would walk in and you'd have to even be careful walking in because of the space of that room. There's not much. Yeah. Plus, didn't California have like a lot of earthquakes, or doesn't California have
Yeah,
earthquakes?
they
So
do. Yeah,
yeah, you gotta be
It-
careful with that.
yeah.
Right.
Hokies, thank you for being a member for 18 months. I am glad Tiffany has not hooked you yet. Yes, thank you again for the early Christmas present. I now have Chucky and Tiffany. Like, I have a couple like smaller versions, but like the actual, like, the Chucky good guy doll yellow box, like that he comes in the movie. Well, he sent me that last year, and this year he sent me a good gals one, which is Tiffany, and it looks exactly like the movie one, like
Oh,
replica.
cool.
It's huge though. That's why I don't have it out, because it would take up like the little room that I have to walk in my office. So it's in a closet right now. And also I'm, seeing Chucky and Tiffany, like just like looking at them would scare me a
Oh
little.
my
So that
God.
they're
Can
gonna
you
be split
imagine
up.
you walk in, it's dark in the room, and they're just there standing.
And the
staring.
Well, no,
Tiffany,
it would be
I kinda
worse if
like-
one of them wasn't there anymore.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh
Like,
my God. Oh my God.
And
Wait,
Tiffany's
wait.
eyes are also stuck, so they're just like white. I gotta like shake her to
Oh
get the
my
eyes to
God. That would
Yeah.
freak me out.
I'll send you a
Oh.
picture later.
Because I think getting like a Chucky doll must be like similar to receiving the Sonichu. Is like they're kind of hoping maybe this is the one. Maybe I looked out for this one.
Mhm. No Chucky
Uh,
doll for me, thank you.
Is
I'm
this the real
good.
one?
John Thomas, thank you for being a member for 10 months. Leela Hart posted a vid of her mom going off about a hooker in Dead by Daylight. Her mom rocks. Oh, really?
It wasn't in Dead by Daylight. It was in Daylight.
Sorry.
She's
I
like,
just
she's
added
just got
that.
her ass out in day. At least do it at night.
Sorry, that's what people call, like, they say hooker in Dead by Daylight because you got to hook them. Sorry, my brain just like.
Oh no,
processed
no!
that
This was
way.
just literally just one walking
There's a
down the
hooker.
street. I did think it was an interesting, like, generational difference that you saw that people used to have higher standards. Because to Leela, it was like, yeah, that happens all the time. I've seen it loads. But her mum was like, I can't believe this is happening in daylight. Like, you get
Yeah.
used to things as your standard that they never would have stood for, and then society just collapses.
So
Well,
last
look at the
year,
way our parents to even our generation.
when I went to, so I'm not used to this. I went to a Comic-Con in Miami. I think it was the first year I was here, so it was almost 2 years ago. The girls were like half naked, and I'm not used to that. Like butt cheeks hanging out and stuff, and I was just like,
God, it was a bit much.
it was a lot, and I'm like, because I'm not used to it, but I'm like, you know what? And all the like people trying to get petitions signed outside and stuff, it was way too much. I'm
What?
like, I kind of understand.
Why are people
yeah,
getting petitions signed outside
it was
Comic-Con?
like exactly, but now I'm like, you know what? I understand. That was my
Signed
first
for
time in
what, though?
Miami, like abortion rights and stuff like that, like
What?
political stuff. Yes, and now I understand.
I'm sorry, how many women were they expecting to attend a Comic-Con?
But really, the thing
How many
is,
people there do they think are getting others pregnant in general? It was like-
people always
Just
say
through with that judgment. God dang it.
say that like Miami is kind of like the California of the South, and like that makes sense. And just my one day there, what I seen just outside of the con and the people on the inside, I'm like, it's probably great there, but I can, out of everywhere I've been in Florida, that was definitely the more liberal.
Wait, that was in
Area.
Florida?
Yeah, Miami, Florida.
Miami.
If you'd said it was like in California, I could have understood it. I wasn't expecting it to be in Florida.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's people say that
Maybe it's a
you know,
Miami thing.
it is. They're like Miami's like the California of the South is what people say
They're the
apparently.
Snoots.
Yeah.
Mhm. It's where the gardening tools go because of the beaches.
Mm. Hoe
Yeah.
that beach.
Yeah, to them, it's basically fishing. So, like, one day, a CEO will look past.
One day. Oh my gosh.
God.
Your son's here. Carlos Lima, thank you for the 5. Not wow.
I'm not paying child support.
Wicked. Can you say the X-ray one? X-ray, I can't say that.
I don't
Wouldn't
know.
Natale Wicked Gingshin Veen V X-Ray Girl and Happy Christmas.
You
to
can't say
Drew.
I can't say it and then laugh at Wicked when you try.
I tried my best.
So
I was close.
adorable.
I messed up my own right there.
I don't even know how to say that. Not
Let's
very
get
good.
saucy. Yeah, she's
Let's
chugging
get
her drink because
saucy.
you guys shamed her about the Dr. Pepper, so now she's trying to power through it so she can just have straight up
No, I don't
bourbon.
want to power through it because then I'll get to like the hard stuff, and I don't know if I'm ready for that. I don't know if the
only-
internet's ready for that.
It's only 20 minutes in, so oh yeah, intros. This is X-Ray Girl.
As
and
if you could do anything that the internet
That's
hasn't
true.
seen. By this point, it's going to take a lot to like do the. Even what's a woman going through 100 people in a day, people are like, yeah, you know,
Oh,
what do you
gosh.
expect nowadays? Then 1,000
Ugh.
be like,
Yeah,
yeah,
isn't
that's
that her
probably
new
a new
goal?
one. Yeah.
Okay. I'll figure something out the internet has not seen, and then
I don't
by
think
the end
it-
of the stream, and I'll do it. No, I'm joking. I won't
Oh,
do it.
I was going to say, I don't think you'd even be able to think of something the internet hasn't seen by this point. Like something that's possible. Because obviously you can think of impossible things that people couldn't
Maybe
create.
something
but-
wholesome because
'cause
wholesomeness
to
is
prove
like
it, right?
gone now.
Do you remember when the Batman series came out recently with the female penguin?
Oh,
I remember Mike was on stream and we were talking about Rule 34. He's like, obviously that's for everything. And then he said, what about the female penguin? So he looked, and this must have been like 2 hours. It was the same day the show was released. You're talking hours. Already existed. Was already uploaded to the website.
What
One
are
of the
you
most...
talking about?
The female penguin from that Batman J.J.
Remember?
Abrams series.
dig deep
No, but,
into
like,
your
what
brain.
is
you'll
uploaded?
remember. Oh,
Rule 34 is adult drawings of them. The Rule 34 stands for literally anything that exists, there is an adult content of it. And he was like, surely not that. Especially not this quickly. But someone must have seen that abomination and thought, I've got to do this. It was probably savvy, to be honest.
I mean, she is an
I like how it
artist.
was no reaction. Yeah, you know.
She is an artist.
I'm like, I don't know. I have no input on
So,
that.
there you go.
I don't
I'm
know.
not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at that rate. Okay, so now I know what Rule 34 is. I love. That is disturbing.
While she ponders that, I'll get some super chats. Mark Reality, thank you for the 5. Merry Christmas, crew and chat on the hairy leg / nip situation. Are you planning on taking us to the zoo or something?
What the hell?
Make them feel at home.
Nips
Make-
and legs.
Because there's a lot of hairy creatures at the zoo. Hairy nips, hairy legs.
Can
yeah.
anyone else hear the microphone popping?
Mine?
I don't know. I was just wondering if anyone else could hear it or whether it was just me.
I didn't hear anything. Was it me?
That's why I asked if
Actually,
anyone
I'm
else has
just
heard
very
it. Because
quiet.
if nobody has heard it, then it's me.
Did you hear it?
That's why I
X-Ray?
asked.
Is it me? Is it me? Testing 1 2 3 1 2 3
Well,
testing.
I don't hear anything. No.
Well, if neither of you heard it, then it's presumably
He's like,
me.
I'm trying to explain to you women what I'm.
Yeah, it's like this is a very easy
He is
question. It's like,
mansplaining right now. How dare
like if
you?
Wicked heard it, it was X-Ray. If
didn't.
X-Ray heard it, if it was Wicked. If neither of you heard it, then it's me. This is a very simple math
Chat,
situation.
chat didn't hear
Thank
it. I didn't
God.
hear
Okay.
it. Okay. Ready for
Oh, I
2.
heard it.
Mhm.
You heard it? Is my microphone popping? Hold on.
All that time, yeah, something happened.
Let me check my audio.
I mean, it could be me because I actually got the Rode X.
Oh,
now,
hold
finally.
on, hold on.
Well, it was when
know.
Wicked started speaking.
No,
Yeah.
that might. Is that better at all?
Well, I can't hear it now. It's been intermittent. I'd heard
My
it
thing
previously, but
switched.
just ignored it.
I mean, it was still on my beacon, but I have like the noise cancellation and like that smooths it out a bit, and that wasn't on, so I just turned it on. That might have helped
Okay.
something. Okay. Let me know if it still messes up, and I'll fix it.
Ruddy, you're hilarious.
Purple drink is called the Cosby Girls Beware. Thank you.
You know,
Big in
it's
the
funny
blit-
when
Big in the
We're-
Blizzard offices.
oh my god, when we were playing Conan, I love Nina. She called the drink that or the potion that made people pass out the Cosby juice,
Oh my gosh.
and I'm
that's
like, I feel
funny.
very awkward using that.
Nina's like, I'll say it. That's Nina. If you won't say it, I will.
Exactly.
Mark, thank you for another 5. There is generic purple soda pop at the super cheap stores, and it is a favorite in the South and among certain crowds. Yeah, so
That's
there's
probably what it was then, because like he's renowned for his $2 steak and his struggle pizzas and stuff. So
$2 steaks.
He used to love his $2 steak. I think he still makes them,
I
but
feel like
obviously
that seems
prices
like
increased.
a rat at that rate.
Well, he does say the reason, like, he could obviously afford the expensive steaks, but he doesn't want to eat expensive steaks because he doesn't want to like expensive steaks.
It's so true. Once you eat one, you're like, well, I want to eat good food all the time.
And to be fair, I've
It's
seen him
true.
cook multiple steaks, and everybody's liked them. So, you know, if it
I
works.
wouldn't take a bite of anything in his house. Oh, I wouldn't even go in
Well,
the house.
well,
I'd walk in and be like,
He did say that everyone that was in his house like came out in
got
hives and
sick.
stuff, but at
Yeah.
least they didn't get food poisoning from the food. It was just his house.
he's like, so $2 steak. Ugh, no. No more Dr. Pepper. Aw.
I honestly thought she was going to drink from the bottle then. I was like, wait. She like grabbed it and was like, wait.
No.
He just
You made a
downs
mistake there.
half
You
of
don't
it.
sniff the whiskey.
It's a habit, especially for wine drinkers.
Oh no. People that sniff
like,
drinks
"Ugh."
are weird.
I like sniffing things like wine and food.
I'm glad you specified. You couldn't just leave it. I like sniffing things.
then she
And
just
flowers.
The
I love flowers. They're so pretty.
vagina
Anyways,
of the
I
plant.
am-
It is.
What did you just say?
It is.
I didn't
That's
hear
the
what
bit
you
of the
said.
plant.
Can you just say that again?
What, the
The first
vagina of the plant? That's what a flower is. It's the bit that gets inseminated. That's literally
mean-
what it is. It's a movie quote. I think it's from, is it Murder by Numbers? Something like that.
Okay, I'm not sniffing any vaginas of anything.
This is being one of the ongoing joke. Like literally, it's not like the movie was the first people to come out. This has been throughout history. Men have thought this, that it's rather strange and very symbolic, symbolic that on the first date that's what he hands to her. It's almost like a declaration of intent.
Here's your vagina plant.
Mm-hmm.
Sniff it. Sniff the vagina.
And she's like, "Oh, that smells nice."
Hi, Ian.
Hi,
You always
Hold
have
on,
the
Ian.
best time.
You
Too
just
late.
changed it, you creamy asshole.
Oh my
Came just in
gosh.
time. Whatever.
Andrew, thank you for the 5. Hated my favorite sexy Santa Wicked and her favorite elves, X-Ray and Disbrew. I heard that Disbrew
Ooh.
loves all the Rachel Zegler movies.
Yeah, you know what I like about her last one, Y2K, is that Interstellar got released and it made double the amount in revenue that her new movie did.
An old movie that's already made money and still
Been out
is
for
working.
years, everyone's seen it. People have the DVDs, the 4K, whatever. Re-release it,
VHSs.
double the amount.
You know, I actually, on this topic, I do think that they should do a lot of re-releases of like 10 plus years movie, especially if they have IMAX versions, because I never got a chance to see things like Interstellar or well, even Lord of the Rings on a movie screen, like because I was too young.
Actually saw the first Lord of the Rings in the movies. My uncle took a bunch of the kids and like I didn't understand it. I was very young and it was long. And I was just like, I gotta pee. Like, when is this movie
I'm-
gonna be over? I was like, I don't know, 7, 8, something like that. But
I'm
yeah.
surprised that cinemas don't do it off their own back. Like,
I
go
don't
to
know
these
what
people
it
and go, "Can I
costs."
show it in the cinema?" Because they'd be like, "Yeah, sure." Well,
So
they just split the revenue with the people that own the movie.
Some
So
smaller theaters do that. I remember there was this really cute theater in my hometown that would, especially like around Christmas time or like certain holidays, they would play old movies, like even all the way back to black and white movies and stuff. And it was like super cheap, like $5 a ticket, stuff like that. But I don't know about like AMC, Regal, the bigger places. They should be doing that, especially because they lost so much money during the pandemic
if
and
there's not-
everything.
if there's not enough movies coming out to fill all the screens, so some of those screens, you just put in extra showings for movies that no one's going to see. So you might as well put older movies in that might get people through the doors. It just seems like
Yeah.
common sense.
Yep.
And
And
instead of
old
making
school
live
is great.
actions, instead of making like, okay, some of the live actions are okay, but like stupid Lion King, Mufasa, just play the Lion King again, the animated one. You'll make money.
I mean, I would love to see The Lion King in theaters again.
I did actually. They released it, and I was so happy. It was like, I don't know, like 10 years ago. It was actually at the Regal, and a bunch of people stood up and clapped, and I was like, we're all such dorks, millennials. Like, yes, this was beautiful. But it was
that's
great to see it on the big screen.
But people do stuff like this a lot, where it's like you go to do what people used to do old school wise. It'd be cool to get the little popcorn stand right at the front, like the old school popcorn boxes.
You could get like Bambi and like the popcorn bucket is just like Bambi's mother's corpse.
Why would you say that?
Well, that's when I clap.
Peru. That's when he's like, ah,
You're like, yeah,
now this is cinema.
what she deserved. You walk out of the cinema and you can like have it over your shoulders like you've just gone hunting.
Yeah. Drive-in movie theaters, another good staple that like just
We don't
wish
have
there
those
was-
over here. Like they just don't exist.
Never did,
I haven't
or-
been.
I've only ever seen them in movies.
Oh,
I wasn't actually
wow.
sure they existed until somebody said, "Oh no, they definitely do."
There you go.
They're fun, but
Mhm.
like you have to have the proper.
You can like open up a
vehicle
side
for it.
or just go straight down her throat.
My mom used to have a catering van. So we used to get an inflatable like mattress, like an air mattress, and a bunch of blankets, and we would just sit in the back with snack. Oh, it was great for the drive-in.
A good truck or like a van that has like a little area.
Does the audio suck?
It
No,
depends on your car.
yeah, because you can.
Oh,
use
does it
your
play through the
radio.
car
It
audio?
plays through the
Yeah.
radio, so they'll tell
Oh.
you which.
I just thought it was
station.
speakers.
No,
No. They'll whatever station. So you'll hear cars turn on periodically because you obviously shouldn't be leaving like your radio on. And then I think it's fun, and
It
there's
is.
a central state area where you could buy snacks if you want, but you could bring your own washrooms over there, and then of course you get every now and then you get the teens or whatever doing stupid crap
The cars are shaking.
a little bit.
you see the.
You're like, oh my
Titanic
god,
hand slip.
the T-Rex scene has arrived.
I haven't been to the drive-in in so long. I would love to go to the drive-in again. Especially because they usually, the one I went to, I don't know if every drive-in is like this, but they would play 2 movies.
Yes, so the early screening and the later screening. So Wicked, if you ever come to Toronto, we should do that.
Yeah.
I would love to do that in my new car.
I'll come back. Oh yeah, and speaking of the Toronto trip, I finally got a freaking refund 2 days ago for the one plane that got canceled. Took 4 months.
Jesus.
It was like $300. Remember my one got canceled and I had to book another one? Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Don't fly Flair if you're going to Canada.
Flare.
Do
Do they
not.
even exist anymore? I don't even
They
know.
do. That's what I mean. Maybe not anymore. They did 4 months
Yeah.
ago.
Wicked bankrupt them with a lawsuit.
I did. I
They've
was
gone
like-
under now.
I was like, I'm gonna go full Karen. and just
God
write the
damn.
nastiest
Yeah.
review.
That
Sued them for
$300
like
just put them over.
emotional damage.
It was. I actually
Trauma.
just thought I wasn't gonna get it. But anyways, yeah, I forgot I was gonna text you that. Like, I finally got it. You're like, wait, what? For what? When did you come here? Oh yeah,
You came here. That was so long ago. I miss you.
I know. I miss you too. I gotta come
Well-
back when it's nice. I'll come back.
Yeah. Are we all going to MegaCon?
I am.
Saucy in person.
The first time?
Let's do it.
Hell
Yeah, because
yeah.
We've all done one in person, but only with
Each
X-ray.
other?
Yes, only with X-ray. Now it'll be all 3. Yeah.
That's gonna be
And
the
for that,
saucy.
For the love of God, we all need a separate mic. I with the one we did,
know.
I listened back to that. The audio was so awful, and I had a
know.
mic I could have brought. I was like, oh,
You know what? We need a proper 3 mic soundboard and all that fun
oh,
stuff.
it's easy enough. Like I always bring the Rodecaster Streamer X with me, and the great thing about that is, I think it might only have like one XLR thing input, but it acts as a wireless receiver for the Rode mics, which I also have. So you can
Ooh,
just do that.
we'll do that.
It's the same with the bigger Roadcasters. They act as a receiver.
I know the
for,
big roadcasters, you can do that, but I'm not bringing mine.
I'm
unless
pretty
I
sure it
drive.
does. Well, yeah. I mean, the Streamer X is like little, light, tiny
It's
thing.
so tiny and adorable.
Mm.
I just totally muted.
Perfect.
Okay, I can't lift it. All the
It's so
wires are
tiny.
taking too much
What's-
tensile strength.
Oh, you're using
Why
it now.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure out how to use the XLR camera, but I haven't figured it out 100% yet.
It's very. You just plug it in, and then in your OBS, it's literally a drop-down option.
Yeah,
for an
that's
input.
not working.
Mike's
Is
here.
it powered with the actual plug and not a generic USB thing?
I don't know.
Well, it came with.
Huh?
Nazar's like,
It came with its own power supply, but if you don't give enough power, the capture card doesn't work. Is what I mean.
Interesting.
I will buy
So
a cord from Sony.
Well, it came with its own power supply. You just use that.
Hold
I
the
don't remember
phone.
that.
I'm going to catch up on these super chats, but Emilio snuck in and gifted 10 memberships. Holy moly. Thank you. Hold on. Let me.
Saucy. The reason I know that is because I went to Vegas and had
Got
the
a
same
button.
issue.
Oh.
I was like, this doesn't work because I was powering it off my laptop, and it was like, yeah, it's not enough juice.
We need more juice. More juice. Juice. All the juice.
Andrew Matthews, thank you for the £2. What did you think of the 28 years trailer? I didn't watch it yet. I have to.
Should we
I'm
watch
falling
it?
behind. Can
We
we?
can-
We should
Apparently,
watch it.
well, we did it on FNT. Someone else said they didn't get claimed, so I think you're fine.
let me
I
look it
can
up
double
right now.
check right now, but
Okay,
I don't
let
think
me
I saw a claim
me
for
know.
it. No claims whatsoever.
What is it? 28 years? It's just 28
28
years?
years
28
later.
years later.
Later. Okay.
That trailer, when I because I didn't know it was coming out, it is so impressive how things can be set without music.
Which, do you
Well,
remember? Did you do it directly from Sony's
crazy-
page?
I would do. I
'Cause
imagine
there's
that's
a
where you got
bunch.
it.
I'm just gonna do Sony because IGN has one. There's a few, you know what I mean? There's a few.
Well, the Sony one's more likely to be the original. I think IGN and
Yeah.
everyone tend to do like their own things, so it gets rendered multiple times, and there's tends to be that can give
Okay.
lower quality ones.
Well,
Aw,
at the
Mike.
beginning it starts with like
a song.
Mike, that's because you play music and stuff. Like,
the Kentucky Fried Chicken song.
well, no, and he's also like, I'm gonna watch this video. It's like, well, what do you expect?
So
Yeah,
should I mute the
you'll-
beginning because it's music?
No.
I think it's fine.
Okay. Those houses are way too close together. I couldn't live there.
I mean, it is UK.
I mean, they're
Teletubbies.
they're terraced houses. The bigger problem is that they're tiny.
That too.
hey, size queen.
Yeah,
Size
true.
I'm the one that lives with the tiny one.
That's what she said.
Yeah, if I move to a different country, I'm going to make sure I get a full size one.
Damn.
Okay, sir.
Still, keep quiet and do not move from this spot.
The Teletubbies is the really horrifying part.
I liked
Have you-
Teletubbies when I was.
Have you
little.
ever seen I think it's rewinded, or it's at least what's it called? The negative image of Teletubbies. So it's like black and white inversion and I think
Oh,
it's
that'd be
rewind.
creepy.
Yeah, it plays the music backwards and stuff. It's the most horrifying thing you've ever seen in your life.
Oh. Well, one day we should watch it.
let's do
What I
it.
was gonna say, it does. I like how you have the contrast of kids watching what is supposed to be like a very like innocent show, and then
Everyone thinks the
bad
Teletubbies
happens.
are horrifying.
No, I liked the Teletubbies when I was little. I liked Poe. I identified with Poe because he was the shortest one.
It's not the gay one.
No, the one Tinky
The
Winky.
purple one.
Tinky
Oh,
Winky.
it's the purple one, yeah.
Poe was the
The-
tiny one.
One of them got fired because they broke someone's nose in a nightclub.
One of them got killed.
Well, I didn't know that. But I know someone was taking the piss out of the one of them in a nightclub for playing like a kids show. So he just broke his nose.
I love how we're like we just like totally.
Sorry, Teletubbies.
Okay, trailer.
No, it's
The whole
when
point
it
of a
comes
trailer is you commentate.
True.
Actually, I like a good contrast because obviously it's supposed to be a scary movie, and going from that to kids show to that, it's like, ooh, what's happening? And nothing is as creepy as when the innocent are involved.
Oh yeah, no, that's what with scary movies. That is when there's like a pregnant woman or kids or dogs. That's when people really. You're right, like the innocent factor. That really it gets me. Like Train to Busan, we've all seen that, right?
Like, God, the pregnant woman.
I know. I mean, they had all of it. They had a little girl, a pregnant woman. Like they were just like, we're gonna mess with all your emotions right now. But okay.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, okay.
I think that's a just punishment for watching the Teletubbies.
That's what you get. Oh my god.
Oh my god. No, but even that, just 30 seconds in. I'm
Yeah.
hooked.
Yeah. What? Mike, calm down. X-Ray's face. I'm just kidding, Mike.
7, 6. Men go mad with what?
Because of the
Because
radio?
it looks like where he
Well,
lives.
because they still use a horse and cart. They don't have electricity or running water.
This scene is a really cool, like, horizon view with the tree and, like, continuous shot. I'm sure, actually,
it's a
in
nice
the movie.
silhouette. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's the whole uncanny valley thing where something is similar enough to things you know, but different enough to creep you out.
Yeah.
And so you've probably seen this in your life before, just a load of people playing.
nice
And then you're like, hang on,
tree.
they're running weird, they move strange, and it just puts you on edge.
Yup.
Just for an FYI to everybody, you get clipped when you don't stop the trailer. If you just play a whole trailer through, they're gonna claim your video. So
Well,
Also, if
also,
you really want to watch the trailer, you can just watch the trailer. on
the
your-
trailer
That too.
exists on its own.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hold discharge in the war.
Ooh, is he alive? Oh, yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Played
that
too much Dead
scared
by
me.
Daylight.
That
See, now-
scared me.
This
Oh
this
my-
is actually the bit of the movie that really intrigues me more. It's not just, oh, there's more zombies, because I've kind of seen the zombie bit of 28 Days and 28 Months Later. It's the fact that there seems to be some kind of human group which is almost religious, like turn them into a religion they're on their own. And that's the bit of the story that I want to find out.
Yeah, and there's not too much that has been revealed in terms of even just
Yeah.
the plot. You're just like, okay, we're in the world. We understand there's zombies. So what is happening or going to happen? And they put some really
That mask
compelling
is
scenes.
creepy.
Very interesting.
Well, that's the thing, that the mask is clearly a human doing it. I don't know whether there's zombies in the background or not, but then soon you're like, oh, this is definitely a religion. My favorite part of the trailer, because they all made of bones and
Yes.
skulls. All of that tower is just bones bleached, and that is basically their kind of version of Stonehenge, but the zombie apocalypse version of Stonehenge.
Yeah. And I love the radio voiceover that is happening, because I mean, you're like, is this actually on the radio, or is this like a broadcast that's happening in whatever human faction that's going on? Is this the leader? I have no idea.
Well,
And
I
just wanna know
think
more.
it's music is like emotional shorthand. It tells you how to feel about something, which is why a lot of movies try and use that to cheat your emotions over something that actually doesn't carry any weight. So that's all it is. It's just emotional cues. But I like how it builds, and they show more and more of the movie as it builds. And I think a lot of creators have lost that. You see all the time really epic music going on in a trailer, and it's just like nothing. Like there's no emotional
Yeah.
resonance there at all.
Interesting. Is this a channel? Unsubscribe said that's a poem read during Sarah to torture the trainees.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
they said this on FNT that apparently part of training, they lock you in a room and just repeat the same poem over and over and over and over again, and that
Ooh.
is the poem.
Okay. That one, hold on. Can I go back to that? Everyone
Killing
thought that was.
Murphy?
Yeah.
It's not though. Yeah,
It's not. No.
it does look like him though.
It
To be
looks
fair,
exactly like him though. I thought that's only I seen that picture. That was all I had seen, and they must. Do you think they did it on purpose to throw people off a little?
no, because I think it's I can't remember who said it. What I saw on Twitter was like, no, it's well known that he's a character in the movie. So
Okay, yeah,
I don't think it was meant to be any kind of debate or anything.
it just looks that way. Okay, it's a real poem, Boots by Rudyard Kipling, and it is a real dramatic reading from a long time ago.
Yeah,
Okay,
he makes great cakes.
Huh?
I'm not joking. There's Rudyard Kipling cakes.
Mm.
oh, okay.
Yeah, it's But I can also see
11.
why this poem would work as like if you repeated it over and over again, and why it'd get to people. Because a lot of things it's like, yeah, this would be really annoying if you played it over and over again. But that build up and down, I can imagine it like affecting your like emotional state over and over and over and over again. So you keep getting
June.
like adrenaline surges and then down again.
I'm putting it in my phone. I have like a movies release 6/20/25.
It's a good idea. I should actually be doing that. I'll do it
There's-
too.
There's no way you won't hear about this way before it's released anyway.
Oh, probably, but it's just part of my OCD to be prepared for anything and everything.
Put everything down.
Let me catch up on super chats. But yeah, thanks for reminding me to watch that. Most trailers do clip you though, so that's nice. I like that we know so many people that do it before, so I could know whether or not I should do it.
Well, I remember it being asked on FNT, did you get clipped when you showed this? So
Yeah, I remember. Wasn't it the Matrix where it was like you showed like any of it and you were just like immediately? I think it was the last Matrix one that they just were not
there's a lot,
having it.
when I
think
did
it's
my Doctor
silly
Who videos,
promotion.
like nearly, I never normally get any trouble at all with my reviews, but the Doctor Who ones, even I was getting clipped for 3-second clips.
3
Yeah,
seconds?
that's
really
insane.
aggressive. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's what I
Wow.
was hearing about the Matrix, that people were just like, you know, skimming through it like, you know, in seconds intervals, and they were still getting clipped. Like just the image of anything was getting you clipped. I had that with something before. I forgot what it was. I think it was something from Saturday Night Live. I had it muted and I was just showing like a little, like it was like 5 seconds and I had to delete it because got claimed for it. It's crazy. Okay, let me catch up on some super chats. Christopher Peake's been a member for 3 months. There was a 6.0 earthquake a little over a week ago in Northern California and a tsunami warning after. Oof. That's not good.
Maybe we'll get better luck next time.
Yeah. Oh, me about to say stay safe and just Rue's like, well, maybe you should move.
Well, it's like they always say every year an area the size of Wales is destroyed. Why is it never Wales?
Mark, thank you for being a member for 17 months. I've lived in Miami. There are approximately 5,000 millionaires walking around there, and every moderately pretty woman thinks she's going to marry one.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Hey, still 5,000 is like higher odds than you get in most places.
Yeah, no, there's a lot. It's, yeah. Graph Web, thank you for the $2. In the name of all that is holy, hashtag cancel Disney Plus. Yes. Gary Thomas, thank you for the 10. Hello all. Disparu, I finally finished listening to Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson on Audible. Gotta say, I get the hype. Didn't see the twist coming about who the Lord Ruler really was coming.
Yeah, and then it's an interesting trilogy because by the end, you end up in an entirely different kind of story than you entered in at the start. And also, I don't know if you know, but the Wax and Wayne series continues the Mistborn stuff. Now, I've not read them all, but I was talking to Shad earlier in the week, and he said he prefers the Wax and Wayne series to the original Mistborn. And he wasn't like, no, Mistborn is crap. He's like, no, that's just even better. So, if you like Mistborn, carry on reading them. There's a time jump, but then it just kicks off again in the same world.
I think that's going to be the first one that I well, next one, because I had that other one that I keep forgetting the name of it, but I told you guys the name. I just can't. I have to look on my Audible.
I always recommend Mistborn as like the gateway into Sanderson stuff because they're all connected. I don't know if you know, but
no, I think you might have told me that. I don't know.
Yeah, all of his stories are set on basically like planets, but they're all in the same universe, so they all have their own magic systems and everything. But that's built into the lore, and there is a central pathway that characters from any world can go to any other world, and the Stormlight Saga is where they all merge together.
Skyward. I had to look at my Audible because it's been like months. That's the one.
A lot of people like Skyward.
It was good. I liked it.
It's
a good
not
one.
the
Yeah,
one-
Mistborn will be next.
Yeah, I've read a lot of them, but not all of them. I like his stuff because some of them like children's books and things.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's next on the list. I think Kara also recommended that one. Gary Thomas, thank you for the 10. Hello, all. Disparu, I finally finished listening to Mistborn. Oh, sorry, that's one I just read.
Well,
Russell Hall.
Did you finish it though, or did we?
I did.
Oh no, yeah,
No,
yeah.
I finished it. I just forgot. Russell Hall, thank you for the 2. To be fair, some flowers do smell like rotten
They
meat.
do, yeah.
Some flowers
Yeah.
don't smell good. That's true.
I think
Most
they're the
do,
ones
though.
that eat the animals, though, and so the animals come for the rotten meat, and then the plant eats them.
Yeah. Mac flies remember for 5 months. Thank you. Whenever you hear a Pretty Bird song, remember they're mostly just screams of "Hey, who wants to bang or say kick your arse?" Lol.
This is my tree. Stay away, you slags.
Oh my goodness. What's up, Cody?
Hi, Kimlet.
Harokami, thank you for the 10. Would love to see Disney re-release the old Snow White a month after the new one, and it would
Can you
do
imagine it does better than the new?
because anyone alive that's seen Snow White in theaters, like the original, when did it came out? 39, right? Was it 1939 that one came out, or was it in the 40s? Am I going too far behind? We looked this up.
The interesting thing that came out of the Y2K series is it shows that she has absolutely no pull to the cinema at all. That movie is incredibly cheap. I think it was like 35 million or something.
Yeah,
it's not going to make it's not going to make its money back. And I think they really relied on her name bringing people in. Because she's the only real name out of all of it. Yeah. And so she went from all these really impressive things. I wouldn't be surprised if a significant chunk of the budget went to her. And she's been in all these big name projects. She's been, and loads of people have talked to her. Everybody knows who she is. Absolutely nothing. No pulling power to the cinema at all.
Just think if she would have not been such a brat, such a jerk, if she would have just respected the source material, right? Not been like, oh, this is a weird, whatever. Like all her crying bullcrap. If she would have just been kind, people would be like, oh, because there's people that are turned away from it because of that. They're like, oh, I would have gone to see it, but she's insufferable. So they don't want to go see it now.
Snow White is really where most people heard what she was like, but she was like that before. Like she was like that West Side Story
that came up like from 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Those are the ones I went through a West Side Story once, and she was immediately insufferable, and that was her first major role. So she's always been like this. Like she got invited. Disney pulled strings to get her onto the red carpet and present an award at the Oscars because she started posting about how she wasn't going, and it just kicked off.
I also
so to shut her up, Disney got her in.
For my use of insufferable all the time now, I'm pretty sure that
I see more people using insufferable now. It's a good word though.
Well, like, and the crazy part is because she has done this before, it makes sense why she keeps on doing it again and again and again, because she's been getting rewarded for bad behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So she keeps doing it, and then now it's finally the repercussions have caught up to her.
I think she's not going to get hired. I mean, she'll get hired, but not as much. Like she could have been a possible it girl like Jenna Ortega if she would have just kept her mouth shut. But now, because like actually said last episode, she can sing. I don't think she's an ugly girl, but she kind of needs to really be dolled up.
From what I saw on Y2K, hot. She can't act.
Okay. Then maybe
the reviews are like, no.
I have to admit that I haven't seen anything that she's been in. So I don't know. I just see that she's getting these roles. So it's like, can she act? She had Hunger Games and everything. But after the numbers come back, okay, then I take that back either way. But the numbers are going to come out from Snow White, and it's just going to be.
Yeah, but the thing about West Side Story was that West Side Story was supposed to be, oh, well, the last one just had some white woman in it. This time, we're really going to represent, Puerto Rico. And then you put Rachel Ziegler in it, who has absolutely no ties to Puerto Rico at all. But offended. She's there preaching about how she represents them at the same time as the Puerto Ricans are going, you don't represent us. So she's attacking the Puerto Rican people while also saying that she speaks for them. So her entire career has been based upon the categories.
You just calm down.
22, yes, I agree. She should be married with children by now. But instead, she's on her career. Whining about how...
her 10th child, at least.
Well, it's literally... This is the way that society used to be throughout all of history, and now all of a sudden 22-year-olds are like, oh, she's so thick, she's 22. It's like, yeah, she'll be 32 with the same problem, because at no point did anyone tell her exactly the role she's meant to fulfill. But at this point, she's literally attacking the people that she's going, I stand for you. And I can understand why she goes through all the identity stuff, because that is the entire foundation of her career. That's why she has a job in the first place. Why she got hired. And so she attacks the people that threaten that, and meanwhile pushes the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Hypocritical.
Hokies, thank you for the 10. I must make it to MegaCon now. Yes.
I hope so. You know what's funny? I met Hokies my very first meetup. I haven't seen him since.
Aw.
I know. I hope I get to see you soon.
Well, the thing is, I think I originally was going to MegaCon because I promised Arudai that I'd go. And then, if I turn up now, he might just punch me.
I don't think Arudai would punch you.
Well, it depends how many times I play this.
You
Too
just
late.
changed it, you creamy asshole.
I'm gonna use that in like my everyday life now.
Like I have the entire clip. I could probably find it in the stream. And literally for minutes he gets more and more embarrassed, and Sevi's just cackling at him, and he's like, "Oh no, no, no! I can't believe I've said that," and he just kind of recedes.
It's very, very much like myself. I say a lot of things and I regret it immediately as soon as I realize it. But you know, it's fine. People enjoy it, right? Right?
Right?
I hope.
You better look out, Disparu.
Oh god.
Wow. What are you punching on Disparu with your tongue, Cody?
No, Camelot's going to start posting pictures about this is what a real woman looks like on Twitter. It's like, if you don't like it, you might be gay. And it's like, those are all the posts I've seen from Camelot recently on Twitter. It's like, I can't believe you don't like this. That is, I don't know if you've seen those. That is the strangest argument I've ever seen. About how, because the thing, it's so awkward because it's a really badly put argument, but I kind of understand what they mean. So they posted a picture of, what's her face? Sydney Sweeney in a bikini. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with the pictures. It's just what she looks like. But at the same time, Sydney Sweeney is somebody that's been hyped up way beyond where somebody with her kind of face would be, just because she's kind of unique in the moment of she's got a great chest and she's not ashamed to show it.
And,
But there are more attractive people than her in the world.
Yeah.
but the good thing about someone like her is personality really makes up for a lot of it, because there are very beautiful
yeah.
people.
Because
but
people have
as
tried
soon
to
as they
shame her,
pop-
and she just wore that t-shirt of, I'm sorry, I got great tits. And it's
and
like,
great opinion. Yeah.
that's funny. So,
Yeah, no, she's got a good personality. So you could be a 10, have a horrible personality, and you're like a 1. So
but
I mean,
at the same, I can understand people being like, well, 20 years ago, everyone in Hollywood would have been more attractive than her. It's like, yes, but this is not the photo to show it. I don't even know what the photos are meant to be proving. It's so bizarre. I mean, you
first,
can if you
Mike.
want, Mike.
So you first, Mike. We'll all show up, but you have to leave
Yeah.
leave.
I'm not going to do that. Not because it's a maid outfit, but because it's French.
oh wow.
John Thomas, thank you for the 10. My own personal Mandela effect. I have only memory of Fellowship of the Ring with the Galadriel introduction in theater. Disparu drive-ins used to have speakers that hung on the car windows. Sucked. I don't remember that.
I think I've heard that.
I've heard about, because I think there used to be speakers on the outside too, because I remember when I used to go to with my mom had like these things on the outside of the cars, and she was like, yeah, well, when I was a teenager, that's where it would like come out of the
I
speaker
think
next
my
to the
dad
car.
might have told me that they used to put that on. And I don't know why he would tell me that, because he's not been to America either. But
You just
he's
knew.
probably seen older movies than I have.
Yeah,
They
most
might-
likely.
Okay, question. In
Yeah.
American high schools, do you actually have lockers around all the corridors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even Canadian ones.
What
Fine.
do you
I
guys,
didn't know Canadians had it.
What do you have in the UK? You don't have lockers to put your books in
We
between
have
classes?
backpacks.
So you just carry every
Well, you know when you were like, oh my god, those houses are really... No, they're just houses. So our schools don't have room for lockers. The corridors aren't big enough. As people are going
Oh.
around, they're literally... like my high school... And this was back then, right? We've had massively more people in the country since I was there. But even then, the corridors were packed. Like, people get really rammed in this country anyway, even before everything else. So they're just... Like, land is expensive. Because that's why all the like our houses. I'm always amazed at the American houses, and I've seen Americans complain about their house
It's
prices.
insane how big some of the houses are.
But you get basically double, if not triple, the house for half the money, and so
Yep.
it's massively different.
Yeah. So
Yep.
what did you guys do? Did you have to carry every subject's book, like math, English, history, and all that, like those thick
Mhm.
textbooks? You just had to have all of them.
Ugh, all at once.
I'm
That's
sorry.
too many books.
That
I feel bad for your back.
Yeah.
Because our school, we were like an art school, so you had to carry your instrument if you did that, or like your workout clothes or whatever you were doing for your art. Imagine carrying all that art stuff. Oh my god, canvases and brushes and
I used to at one point play the trombone. That was at least I was able to ditch that in a closet somewhere. So, plenty of
Trombones
jokes
aren't
about
small
disprove being
either.
in the closet available there. But I don't think it's gonna. I'll leave that one to chat.
oh wow. Well, that's nice for you, Ian.
Carlos Lima for 2.
Boarding school is known as like for the posh people. So yeah, I can imagine they would have bigger grounds.
They didn't have lockers. They had assigned.
They had
students'
donkeys.
keys.
They
Yeah.
they had a peasant to follow them around to
Yeah.
carry them for them.
Whatever happened to 28 months later?
That's true. Yeah.
Wasn't that supposed to come out? Like there was days, months, and then. Now
Well, no,
there's-
I mean there should have been one, but I don't
I
think
thought
they
I
ever
heard
intended
something
to.
about that. Oh, okay, maybe
I
it was
actually-
just a rumor.
I don't know what the
then.
box
Yeah.
office compared to budget was of 28 weeks later. I never know because so long ago I never cared about how things performed.
No.
Yeah, see, 28 weeks later only had a worldwide total of 64 million.
Oh wow. I wonder why they chose to do this movie, just given the previous,
Okay,
just based
but
on
the
that.
budget was 15, so definitely
they
made
made-
loads of money.
Yeah. Okay.
So what's the budget on this? I wonder. I mean, we might not find out until closer to. Of
I
course,
don't think we'll. Yeah,
Yeah. Until
Don't really
after. Mm-hmm.
28 days later, budget 5 million.
Wow. Okay, so it's what?
But this is the point. Like, we've grown up in a time. Well, now it's a time where everything has massive budgets, and it simply doesn't need to. Movies aren't that
Overinflated.
expensive. Like, all you need
Agreed.
is whatever you pay the actors, and then you have like a director and a cameraman and the camera. Now, the cameras are really expensive, but they're like 20 grand, 30 grand for like the best camera. So they're actually not that expensive when you're talking millions of dollars. And
Mhm.
paying all these people isn't that expensive. So I don't actually know where the budgets go. Like, if you make a movie of, say, 15 people, and you've got, like, let's say 2 cameramen and 2 cameras, so the camera's like 60 grand, and then you just do it in... I think where you save money is you do it on location shoots in a country. So, like, this was England. They can travel anywhere in the country on a train,
For
and just
pretty
go to
cheapy,
old...
yeah.
They can just go to old abandoned places. They're not going to be very
Uh-huh.
expensive to rent out. And where the money goes is they use like green screens and various different crap. But if you just
Well,
film a
lot
real
of the money
movie-
goes to CG these days for
Yes,
stupid
there's-
reasons because they don't want to build sets.
yeah, there's no need to. And like a zombie movie, you just put prosthetics on people. So, you've got the makeup and a bit of plastic.
Yeah.
There's loads of ways you can make far cheap. And like, don't get me wrong, they're still expensive. They'd still be... But if it's like $1 million, that's expensive for us. But that's really cheap when you talk about Hollywood movies.
Yeah, I find it wild that they're spending that much money, but I feel like when it comes to film, they like to do this is a regular cake. This is a film cake. Regular
Yes.
cake costs 20, film cake costs 80K. What?
Yes, anyone that's ever worked for like the government or anything related to them, if you've ever dealt with private contractors, you will know that they have 2 sets of prices, and one of them
Mhm.
is for the government, and it's always massively more. I remember dealing with this company, and I was told to give them the budget that we had, so we came back with a quote for the budget, and then months later, came back with another budget that was much lower. Somehow, nearly all of this work got done for the same amount. It was very strange to me. Nobody else questioned it. Why?
Oh,
Because
and
it's
the
not
unions.
their money.
The unions screw everything too.
I'm talking about labor literally going from like £350 an hour to like 30 for the same people. And this was many years ago.
Ed Song, thank you for the 10. Not as scary when Disney tried to kill Barney. The CEO of Disney at the time tried to muscle the owner of Barney to sell to Disney. Would be a shame if Barney took a tumble.
Yeah, just put drunk 3PO in his nearby vicinity. He'll definitely fall over.
Sorry,
Maybe
Jay.
for the-
Strays.
Look, I still say he tripped Winnie the Pooh. All right, he was on camera.
Oh my god, I saw that. He totally
Mhm.
did.
Yeah.
He totally did.
Krista was near him. She told me you did it.
I'm
That's
putting
all I need.
I can't drink bourbon straight, guys. I'm getting really drunk.
Yeah, let her have her Dr. Pepper. We still have 2 hours to go.
Let her have a
maybe-
Dr. Pepper. How dare you deprive her?
Thank you for the 100 Norwegian krone. It's a performance of a poem by Kipling. Oh, yes. The 28 days later.
Mhm.
Years. Was it years?
Sorry.
That was the funny thing to me when I found out like Kipling was a poet.
meant
And
years.
to me, he literally just made cakes. That's all I knew him for.
Ian, thank you for the 50 pounds. The training is that they repeat the same film over and over again since 2007.
And yet you'd still be like, imagine being offered a choice between like The Matrix, which you've watched 24 hours a day since the release date, or they go, look, you can watch a new movie, but it's Snow White with Rachel Zegler in it. I'll be like, The Matrix.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch that again.
Duppy Rider for 5. There's allegedly SUV-sized drones over New Jersey. I heard something about that. What's that about, and why is it Wicked's doing? I'm seeing the memes of Henry from Goodfellas, like looking up. It's like everybody in New Jersey right now.
Now,
I don't know what's going on.
There was a video that I saw, and it looked like it kind of looked like a weird hexagon shape rotating. And then you go in the comments, and a lot of people are going, "Do you not have a telescope?" That's just what things look. That's what light looks like when you don't focus on it properly in a lens. So I can write that off. But also, the way the military has evolved. If you ever seen like the Chinese drones, and they're showing like dragons going through the sky, that's not just that's a military exercise, essentially, that's showing you what was capable. It's like going to the moon was actually just showcasing you had better rocketry than the
which
enemy.
is why it was such a race. And then they
Yeah.
stopped.
So what you're witnessing now, and the battle that's been going on in Eastern Europe has showcased this, that old militaries are basically outdated and drones are the future. And you can take out a tank with a drone. You can take out a multi-million-pound tank with a couple of grand drone. And you can take out all the military, or the military can't stop them, soldiers can't shoot them down. And so I'm not surprised if certain nations would be trying to experiment with the technology to try and catch up. Put it that way.
I wouldn't be surprised either. Disru, you want to read the super chat?
I need to swallow first.
Never mind. Never mind.
Would you like to expand on your comment, Wicked?
No. Go ahead. Please read
Go.
Russell.
You'd probably end up as red as a Rudai.
Oh my god.
What he said that? That's part of the clip. I cut it out of the clip so that you didn't have to listen to 3 minutes of literally Savvy cackling like a witch.
What am I reading?
But he said I'm as red as beetroot. Either way, Russell Hall for $2. There's also a whole genus of flower. I think there was supposed to be a W there, or maybe not. Called Clitora.
A W
Clitoria.
where? In flower? There is a W there.
No, in whole.
In whole,
Oh,
yeah.
There's a whole genus of flower called
Oh
Clitoria.
no, Russell probably meant that. Oh.
No, I know. I know. I get the joke.
Okay, sorry. Maybe
Russell's
the chat
being
did it.
Russell right now.
If it was anybody else, I'd be like, it was a misspell. But no, Russell did that intentionally.
Yeah.
Thank you for the two.
The British comedy has layers upon layers, so there is a layer where pointing out to the obvious joke is funny in itself. Like, pretending that you don't get to the obvious joke, it becomes funny. It's like, comedy doesn't translate internationally.
Yeah.
This is what I've
Sounds
learned.
true.
But I really like it when you explain a joke because I may think it makes it funnier. Not really.
No. I like explaining a joke is like dissecting a frog. Nobody cares and the frog dies.
That was the joke. Okay, never mind.
I know. I went. Oh my god. This is like bouncing off a rotting corpse.
Yeah,
And
no,
it's
I
like,
tried
oh
to
my
explain
god,
it 'cause I thought
I'm
it
gonna
would be
point out. It's
funnier.
like, yeah, mine was a joke on top of your joke. You're supposed to back the ball back.
Thank you for
Anyways.
the 5 gifted memberships.
Yes, queen.
Yeah.
Yes. And also, thank you for the $2 super chat and the reminder. Wicked, don't fall behind on super chats. I am
Wicked,
not.
don't
I'm
do
actually-
it. Don't let it happen. How dare you?
I'm actually doing pretty well. That one was 15 minutes ago. Look at me. Market reality for 10 5K millionaires, most of whom are old, and there are
True.
3.1 million women looking for a rich husband. Also, Miami is the modeling capital, and there are thousands of runway models. My PSA for the day.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service, Mark.
It's actually worse than that because the 3.1 million women looking for rich husbands aren't like they're not intelligent enough to look for a rich husband. They're looking for a rich husband who is also their ideal partner with all their ideal looks and tastes and personalities and everything else.
Yeah, that's
so they
not
want,
gonna happen.
yeah, they don't just want rich, and then you turn it around on them, and you're like, okay, so have you been living the perfect life for him? Because he can pick out of anybody in the world.
There's about 2,000 that look just like you right around the corner, girl. Literally, though. It's
Well,
like
no,
the-
because right around the corner will probably be the same. The issue that they have is for a multimillionaire that travels, because they all want somebody that travels, you're also competing with other countries which have other cultures, which don't have Western culture, so they won't have damaged themselves as much as you did.
yeah.
Like, they will be the perfect housewife that you refuse to be. I think that's, like, the more you think about it, the way more unrealistic it is.
It's true.
Like, did you know where Best Man came? I assume you have Best Man at your
Yeah.
weddings.
Maid of honor
Yeah.
and best man.
Do you know
yeah.
where that
Yeah.
came from? The
What?
best
No.
man was originally the guy that the man would take with him to capture a bride from another tribe.
Oh.
Yeah. It's
I
like
feel
his
like I've
best
heard
mate.
that before.
Yeah. It was like, we're going to go over there and kidnap a woman. They're like,
I
yeah,
want
I'm
that-
in
I
for
want
that.
that redhead over there,
It's
let's
like-
It almost sounded sweet. Almost.
Well, I mean, he's risking his life.
Llama pajamas for $2. My weenie agrees with Sydney Sweeney.
Hey.
Yeah, but-
Most guys would
If she walked
Agree
past
with
you in the
that.
street, could you recognize her face?
Without makeup on, probably not. I think the thing about Sydney Sweeney is like she's like every typical blonde without makeup on. It really washes her out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Especially if you're not like,
That's such a woman answer.
well, she is though.
It's facts.
No, but I'm not disagreeing with you. My point is, you've actually looked at her face.
No,
Like,
I
you
haven't
can
looked at
describe
her.
her face.
I haven't looked at her
And you
face,
can
but I know
describe her
somebody-
face in detail.
Guys
because
don't look
I
at
know
her
somebody
face, they look at her
blonde.
boobs.
That's true.
You see- that's
Yeah, no
what he's
man has
saying,
ever
that guys
seen
don't know what her
Sydney
face
Sweeney's face. They're like, well,
Oh my
they might have looked
God.
once and be like, nah, but just look at
But
this
guys,
bit.
guys, do you think if you saw Sydney Sweeney's boobs on the street, you would recognize her?
Guys probably would. This would be like,
Well,
hey,
they don't
you
have
got
any
my thumbnail quite
identifying
a few
marks, though.
times.
That's the problem. Like,
She has a
this is exactly the point. Like, have you ever been walking down to the chat? Have you ever been walking down the street and your girlfriend's gone, I like that, and they just point at like a clothes shop,
Mhm.
and it'll be like a picture of a model wearing something, and she means the dress, and you just judge the woman. Like, you don't even see the clothes the woman's wearing, but she only sees the clothes. This is literally the difference between the things.
difference between men and women.
Yeah.
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 You will only judge the woman, but she will only judge the clothes.
Like if a
It's
girl
like-
has some really nice shoes on, like my eye's gonna go like, oh look, those are really nice boobs, or like immediately.
yeah, the
actually,
only way
women
guys can
also
judge the
make
clothes is how it makes the woman look. You
Yeah,
can't
that's
judge
true.
the clothes on their own.
Tops and
This-
the bottom.
This is
yeah.
why if you ask your man to like make a decision about like cushions, this is a coupling thing, but I've always agreed. I don't think men have the capability to form an opinion about cushions or like
Probably
curtains.
not.
They don't care about those things.
We
Most
don't
of
have
them
the
don't.
equipment. I don't think it's physically possible. What do I know about those curtains? Well, they stop the light. That's about it. But if you were like, would you prefer them to be polka dots? I don't know. Straight? I have no idea.
Polka dot.
I literally don't have an opinion on them.
Yeah. On the women without makeup is a myth. It's not true. I think we actually both have streamed a few times, even like without makeup.
I've streamed without makeup.
Yeah,
I
it
barely
depends on
am
the
wearing
mood.
Makeup even
Being
now.
Asian is cheating.
No, I still think I look a little different, but it's just I wear eyebrow makeup barely.
I like how you took that seriously.
Most of the time, I'm just like too lazy. I'll be like, you know what, lip gloss, good to go. A lot of girls do, especially these days. Though you'll see like girls just. I'm always just like blown away by the videos. You'll see like reels and shorts of girls just like taking on like the foundation and stuff. I can't do foundation. I hate it. I don't like stuff on my face like that. It feels very uncomfortable. But it is. We're in like the era where there's a lot of like Photoshop and a lot of makeup. The Kim Kardashian effect, where everybody. I don't get that. She was prettier before all the work.
Well,
but like
I
everybody
don't
wants to look
like
her.
now.
You're doing
People
what?
are not doing the surgeries to do the hourglass shape and the BBLs and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
they're getting
Like,
reverses and stuff.
They're getting
now.
reversals, but I mean, even the Kardashians were getting reversals. Some of them were
Oh,
getting
I didn't know
implants
that.
taken out and stuff like
Oh,
that. So
Kylie got her lips taken out, right? Something
Yeah.
like that.
yeah, the
Mhm.
whole full look is now actually being turned around, and I think we're going to a more facelifts. And hey, I don't know.
I've
better-
never
it's
liked the
better than
Kardashian look. This is why when people like Americans have hotter women, and like I've seen people say that about Vegas, and they always mean the Kardashian look. They mean like there's a certain Instagram face, which I think came from filters, and then people had surgery to make them look like the filters, and it's like
Probably.
big, thick, like carved eyebrows, and it's none of it's natural. I literally came from the 90s, so I still have. I've been like. I'm the guy that's found in Jurassic Park that's been preserved in amber with his taste from the 90s. So I'm the guy that doesn't like lots of makeup. Where if you can tell someone's put makeup on, they put on too much. And it's the same thing with the Kardashian. I'm like, no. This is why I think people from Eastern Europe look way better than Americans, because Americans went down there. We can make ourselves something. I'm like, oh, but I don't like what you've transformed yourself into. No.
No.
Yeah. And I will say this. There have been guys that I've noticed that when I do the no makeup look, they think I'm not wearing makeup. It's very interesting.
No, but I
subtle.
think that's probably a peak. I think there's a peak of using a little bit of makeup to accentuate natural features, and then once they can tell, then it goes down again. Like women will be able to tell when you've done the makeup, but men can't, and I think that's the peak of when you look natural but you're not.
That's why I really like the Asian makeup. Like I love when people do like the half and half, like TikToks for the girls out there. They'll do like Asian versus Western.
Mhm.
I've seen Asian makeup where they basically drew another face on their face, and I'm like, wow.
Okay, maybe
I
not
literally
that.
saw one where she was an artist. Like she could, if she channeled her talents into making paintings, she'd probably be a multi-billionaire. But instead, she just put it on her own face.
Yeah. I mean,
This is why when people like women aren't creative, I'm like, have you ever seen what they do to their own face? They just have different priorities.
this Brew standing up for the ladies.
But like, look at
On a
this.
very rare occasion.
I was gonna say this is probably.
Don't worry, she'll expand to the size of a whale once she's married.
There's
Like
the
between-
disbrew we all know.
Yes. But that's why you don't get married to them. Then they have to try forever.
This is like two-ish, not the same face, but like you could. There's such light makeup compared to like the Western makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah, see what I mean about the carved fake eyebrow? It's like they just look like permanently resting. When people are like, oh my god, she got resting like bitch, it's like it's one of the eyebrows are supposed to tell your emotion, but you can't even tell your emotion. You've got like one fixed thing.
Got marker brows.
Yeah.
Yup.
Like if something shocks you, I should be able to
Here's
tell.
another. But yeah, look at even just the eye makeup. This
Yeah.
looks so much more
Very
natural.
subtle.
Yeah, well, yeah, but the thing about blush is that your cheeks flush around that time of the month where you're most fertile. And so the one on the right makes men attracted to you. The one on the left just carves out part of your face. And the sunken cheeks is actually a sign of age. And so that makeup makes you look older than you are. Which,
Oh no.
if you're trying to get into a club when you're not supposed to be there, I could understand. But when you're in your 20s, you shouldn't be trying to look in your 40s.
Yeah, and a lot of the
Yeah,
makeup,
oh my-
look, like the one on the left, like that ages you sometimes to a lot of.
Speaking
Yeah.
of that,
The
Shania
the Korean-
Twain. Have you guys
I-
seen her?
I know a lot of people talk about like the Korean feminism and stuff, but despite that, which is weird, right? Because their kind of version of feminism was we're not going to shag men. Like, great, you know.
Just being celibate and
Well,
you know,
that's a
with
good
girls.
thing, you know.
Yeah,
Don't go around and bang as many people as possible is actually an advantage.
Yeah.
But what they've kept is the kind of traditional we're going to try and look like cute and innocent thing. Whereas in the West, they've gone for more like we want to look as if we've been through 100 men in one day. That's how we want to look. We want to look like the person that walks down the street as if they're in Dead by Daylight, as Wicked said earlier. So.
I mean, yeah,
And
I
it's
didn't
just a
mean it,
really
but-
weird choice. It's almost like the makeup that women in the West are using are deliberately designed to make them look worse than they
No,
are.
it is. Look at this makeup. Okay, the
Oh,
right side,
God.
of course, is
The
the
left is
Western.
better.
The left is obviously the Asian makeup.
That is so bizarre.
Isn't
Like,
that
have you noticed
crazy?
on her lips, it like the right one like pulls it upwards, whereas the
No,
left
no,
one
this
looks
is-
natural.
So they're outlining outside the lip area to make it look
Overlining.
fuller. Overlining. That's a
I've
technique.
never seen anything like this. This is really interesting.
Yeah, so a lot of women do this type of like half and half, and the one that's a stark difference was East Asian versus like South Asian. But like I find it looks like clown makeup, Asian makeup versus Western makeup. Western just looks so
Because-
silly.
If you describe makeup to me, it's like I couldn't describe it, but this it like shows it, and it shows
Mhm.
the differences that I've just kind of almost like innately felt, but I wouldn't be able to.
Unless you did that
accurately
Joker
point out-
face.
Yeah, like her eyes, right? If you look about the makeup around her eyes, I would never be able to describe that to you. I would just be able to tell you that I hated one. Mind you, I still like the smoky eyes, so it's a bit different in this.
Yeah.
I grew up with Avril Lavigne, so I like the smoky eyes.
He likes the emo, the mildly emo look.
Aye.
I had a thing for the emo girls, yeah.
Yeah.
But I
thank you to-
hate the eyebrow on the right. That it.
It's too much. Like the
Well,
You
well,
always look
everything
like-
everything is too much. The cheekbone is too much. The mouth makeup is horrible. Now, admittedly, when she does that, it actually looks less than when she's just like
But
static
it's just the
head on.
comparison of
Yeah.
the two different styles that it's just like woof. I do. Okay, that's not a
yeah, the
good-
conspiracy theory that she's got a
that she's a doppelganger.
yeah, that she died, and I think it's like
Really?
Melissa,
I've not
her
heard this.
body double, because you know how like
Yeah.
celebrities will have a body double.
I've heard
sometimes?
clone theories about
Yeah.
celebrities, but not Avril
She's
Lavigne.
one of them because she went from that more of like a punk, whatever you want to call it, to pop. So like she went from
I haven't followed her career, so
Oh well, she went from like skater boy to the I don't like your girlfriend, like the really poppy, like
Oh,
kinda-
okay.
The math of
Girly.
music, as I like to call
yeah,
it.
she went from wearing baggy but like still
The-
cute clothes to pink skirts.
Oh, the kitty girl thing. That was
yeah, that.
that was because AI. People are like, oh, AI is new. No, AI has been used in music for ages.
Mhm.
For a long time, they've literally had an AI that could tell you what music was going to be a hit because it's actually music isn't that complicated. There is
There's a math to it.
yeah, it's all maths, and so it's what AI was made for, and so they can literally create a tone. This is why AI music is so good already, and it's always catchy because they basically nailed down what it is. But over the years, music got less and less complicated, which is why if you want your baby to be more intelligent, it should probably be into classical music.
No,
Yeah.
there are studies as well that if
Mhm.
you even teach a child 1 year of music, they will pick up academic studies better
Mhm.
because of the complexity of like classical music on like piano or whatever instrument you want to have
Yeah.
your child learn.
Well, it's why I got that, and I've never had the time to relearn it. But the reason I got the keyboard originally was because I always regretted not continuing with piano because I used to do like basically classical piano, and I was never amazing, but I also wasn't crap. I was always fairly good at it. And so it's like one thing that I'd always wished I'd continued, but it's just so much work. So it was like during the whole lockdown thing, it was like I'll get into it, and then never did. But I've always appreciated it, and it's one of the things where it doesn't matter what you can go back and listen to classical music, and it's just better. Like it even if it doesn't hit the same kind of emotional kind of TikTok-y tone that modern music does, that kind of catch you, you can tell it requires more talent to write.
It does. The cadences, the playing with the two hands, like as someone who used to play piano, you know, you could play a pop song. They have the melodic chords that you could easily follow and play any song.
Yeah, although
there are chord progressions that is in every single song that you could just blend. What were they called? There was a couple of music performances like that blended all the songs together somehow.
I was given a choice of which which kind of person I'd play. So it'd be like, which do you prefer? Because the guy that taught me, he was amazing. He was a teacher, but he didn't like own a TV. His entertainment was just playing a grand piano that he had in his house, and he also did piano lessons on the side. And he would just play anything. And so would he be like, well, what do you want? Which music do you prefer out of these? And I always chose the one I prefer. And then I recently heard someone go, no, that's the hipster version of classical music. Essentially, was the way they described it. I don't know. It was like Rackbaum or something like that, but I can't remember exactly what it was. But it was something like that.
Oh my god!
It was always the wacky kind of music, but it was the like classical with an edge kind of thing.
Cool.
Let me
I
catch
just
up on
realized
Super
we're
Chats
halfway
again.
through the show and we haven't even hit a topic.
Well, we brought in a new topic and watched the trailer, the 28 Days. So we'll
That's
do
true.
we'll talk about secret level Space Marines next. Russell Hall, thank you for the 2.
No, I like it, but I do wonder whether you'll agree with my first statement about it.
We'll see. American house prices vary radically by location. That's very true.
Yes.
Very true.
Oh my God, it's
but
insane.
what I was comparing against, because you've got a massive country, right? So you've got huge swathes of just like empty land. So I wasn't taking the cities. I was taking kind of, and I don't know your cheapest regions, but I was just taking like our places away from the city compared to your places away from the city.
Oh, okay. Yeah, our places away from the city and most like areas, at least where I've lived, pretty expensive. Llama
well, no, your city areas are the expensive thing.
Well, yeah, city area, like I guess it depends, honestly. Because certain parts of the city might be a little bit cheaper, but you're going to get like a tiny 1-bedroom, barely can move. Like,
no, I was specifically looking at houses. I was looking at
houses, okay.
multiple hundreds of thousands of things. Like if you spent like £500,000, which would be probably $650,000 to $700,000 over here, you'd get probably a detached, maybe 2.5 bedroom kind of thing. It might have 1.5 bathrooms, maybe 2. And then over there, it was like from the TV shows. it was like multiple rooms. You might have a swimming pool. Like you're not going to swimming pool over here unless it's like £3 million.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, you're right.
Space is a luxury in the UK.
It depends where. Like, I lived in New York State. It's just expensive over there in general. But in Florida, it is expensive. But like where I am right now is a city, and it's an apartment costs about the same to rent a home like a few hours away in a non-city area, which is where I eventually want to end up because I want more room and I want to get out of like the city area.
Obviously working online, and as I've got older, when I was 18 or 20, I was also like, no, I want to live in a city. Now I'm like, no. No.
Yeah. No.
Well,
I want
to not liking people. Right.
Yeah.
I want to live next to a place where I can get food easily. So I want to be near a food place.
Mm-hmm.
But I would prefer like a smaller, tight-knit town or something.
Like a suburb type town, not city. Like a.
Well, it doesn't even have to be a suburb of a city. I'd be happy with a smaller town somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. That'd be nice.
Like when people are flyover states, nobody goes, it's like, oh, fine.
Fine.
Yeah,
There's-
as long as
there's
you get
like
good
a
internet,
restaurant
that's all that
next to me.
matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if it was like good internet, but down the road there was like a load of Amish that would sell me like steak and cheese, I'd be like, that's
There you go.
amazing. That's
I'm
all
done.
I need.
That would
Perfect.
actually make me want to live there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
more.
exactly. Yeah, it'd be like, well, the Amish, they're nice, they're not modern. It's like,
They don't have
they're not gonna
business
go down the road and start
crazies.
nicking a load of stuff.
Not likely, no. Not compared to the city. It's crazy because like in the States, you'll get like the plastic over the things like deodorant and whatnot, and you're like, you have to get the person to open up the shelves. That's so crazy.
Yeah, this is why it's been on my mind, because I think we'll end up in that kind of region. I think that's where we're going. I think
Like in the
California
UK?
has led. I think California, Canada, Australia, the UK are all on a very similar path, and I think at certain points they overtake in certain different social areas. But I think they're all headed in the same direction, and I don't like that direction. So I have always been, even like when this is going to sound like a stupid example, but it basically works for everything. When I was in Overwatch, I could tell you what the problems were, and everyone would disagree, and then 6 months later, everyone agreed. And I think that's what it is now. And I'm like, this is where things are going to go wrong. And people are like, no.
I guess
So I'm
we'll
like,
find
I would
out.
rather get out now than where I think we're going to go.
Yeah.
Llama pajamas for two. No, looking at her face. That was talking about
there's,
Sydney Sweeney.
Oh, yeah, there's no
Ah.
need to look at her face. You look at her face, you're like, oh. And then
Oh.
you don't need to afterwards. But this is why I understand, like, the Twitter thing. Because it's not that I necessarily agree with overall what they're saying, but the photos they've chosen to take a stand with are stupid. Like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with Sydney Sweeney's body. Like, that is the one area where you'd be like,
That's it? Okay.
That's just a look.
everybody knows, like, you can fill in the gaps because you know what Sydney Sweeney's body looks like, unless you've
There's no
watched Madam
gaps there.
Web, where they covered it up.
Barely any gaps.
I think Sony covering up Sydney Sweeney in Madam
It's an
Web.
atrocity.
Yeah, but not just that. That should be like a fireable offense, because you definitely lost multiple millions of dollars just from that decision alone.
Mm-hmm. You remove the boobs, but that's the thing. They don't care about that. They're
They
like,
don't care about the
"You
power of the
don't
boobs.
need to look at a woman's boobs in order to enjoy a movie. It enhances the movie.
That
It's
movie
like
was
the
not
cherry
good.
on top of the movie.
It
if
would
you
have
see
enhanced it
that.
for the men. You would have had
But-
more
Yes.
men coming.
It's okay to do that to a man, but it's not okay with a woman. But the thing is, Sydney Sweeney understands her assets.
She does. It's very true.
Which is kind of her job. Like, this is your career. Like, that Sydney Sweeney isn't, like, it's actually a sign of intelligence to work out why you're successful and play into it. So, her realizing that these are her money makers and then using that to make more money is, like, a sign of her own intelligence as it is.
Mhm.
The weird thing is the people that play against it and be like, oh my god, you shouldn't be looking at this, and
But
try
the-
and shame them while also using them to make your money. It's like,
Which is crazy because then they're like, oh, those OF people, yeah, get your money, girl. But you can't do it in a movie.
okay,
How dare you?
Yeah, I can. Generally, because from the feminist perspective, it is basically they are anti-male, so they hate whatever man likes, but they may carve out the exceptions for what benefits women, so that if the women are exploiting the men, then it becomes good. Which is why you end up in these things that appear like contradictions, but they're actually not, because it comes down to who is being like penalized and who has been taken advantage of. Which is
But that
why
is the
simultaneously.
perception of it, though.
Yeah, but it's the underturning logic, which is why they're against like studios making adult content. They're against that, but they're pro OF because that's them making money for themselves. So they turn from being the exploited to the people exploiting other people.
Totally do it. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, but she's making more money in the cinema at the moment.
Yeah.
So, wild. Anyways,
Andrew, thank you for the 2. Next I'll nudge. Have you seen Secret Level? Yes, we are getting there. That will be the next topic.
Mhm.
I've
eventually.
seen the Warhammer one.
Yeah, I've seen
I've
all except for
seen-
the last
I want to watch the
you-
Unreal Tournament one though. I didn't know until I watched the Warhammer one. I didn't
was
know there
good.
was an Unreal Tournament.
That one was good. It was very interesting because the thing is, a lot of these games, I've never played, and I had to look up like if it didn't say it, I had to look up like what was this like? There's one that Arnold Schwarzenegger does a voice in, and I'm like,
Really?
why is that voice like sound
So
familiar? Because
familiar?
he doesn't sound as much like Arnold, like because he's been in America for so long. He doesn't have that strong accent anymore, but it's like still there. It doesn't work. The episode's fine, but it just like he does not work as a voice actor.
No.
My first three
In my
PC
opinion.
games in order were Quake 3, Age of Empires 2, and Unreal Tournament. And then
I've never
Unreal
played
Tournament
it.
2004 was also amazing. And then the biggest disaster to me that's ever happened in gaming is Epic tried to do a free-to-play, basically Unreal Tournament to showcase their engine, but then Fortnite took off, and so they killed Paragon and Unreal Tournament. And so the moment I saw that, I was like, oh my god, this is probably the
Jay.
last Unreal Tournament
Hi, Jay.
content we'll ever see.
Yeah, I'm
I'll-
looking at the list. It's Dungeons and Dragons, Sifu,
Which I'm
New World.
interested in.
I want to watch
New
Dungeons
World?
and Dragons.
That's the
Oh,
first one.
of course, it's an Amazon property, isn't it? So that makes sense.
Mhm.
Here, why don't I just share the screen? It'd probably
go ahead,
be,
share
like,
your screen.
easier.
Like New World was Amazon's MMO, so it does make sense that they'd cover their MMO. But otherwise,
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons I'm interested in. Sifu is a great game with a
one was-
great concept.
I'm kind of interested in that game now that I watched the episode. I loved the way it looked. It was
it's
very pretty, and it just like very pretty.
It takes a while to learn, but it's a very interesting concept that when you die, you age up, but it also basically makes you more skilled because you're supposed to have gathered experience as you age.
Yeah, 6,
So-
7, and 8. Did you say hi to Jay Disparu?
Hello, Jay.
You know what? Jay,
I
you never
didn't
say
know you
bye
required
to
me to
so I don't even
specifically
wanna
say it, just-
hi now.
Jay
I
doesn't say
thought
bye
you
to
were just like, oh
anybody.
my god, the two hot girls said hello. He doesn't need Disbrew to say it.
He needs
You're-
Disparu to
you're
say
hot.
it.
He's like,
Lesbian.
no, I need.
Disparu, you're a hot lesbian. Just own
Is-
it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, hold
Sydney
on.
Sweeney, if you ever do want to do content,
Here you go.
Please, please.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
I
Oh,
want
because I'm worth it.
there you go. Don't down yourself, Disparu. So I've seen all the
No,
secret level episodes.
I'm here
except for
to. I'm here
the
to
eye
balance.
candy.
I'm-
Everyone goes nuts.
Well,
for
no,
you.
I'm here to balance out the feminine energy with something that is actually interesting.
Wow. You know what, Disparu? That was really rude. It hurt my feelings.
Exactly.
You know
That's
what?
exactly that's exactly why I'm here. Where it's like, oh my god, we've got the eye content and something that's actually interesting to listen to.
Wow. You know what? We have a lot of important things to say.
This is what people mean when they're like, oh my god, at least he balances it out.
boobs, and boobs.
That's why
It's
I
like
actually
it's
don't
like
care
they're
for
looking
that.
at you, but they're listening to me.
Anyways, back to secret level. 6, 7, and 8 are the only
Look,
three that I
women
haven't
have been
watched yet.
equal for at least 150
God.
years
Here he
right now,
goes, he's still
and you
going.
haven't at
just
no
posted
point
him,
has a
yeah.
woman ever made a dwarf fortress. No woman has made Factorio. No woman has made Rimworld. It's like, no, why?
What is a
Why?
Rimworld?
Because you could exactly my point. And yet,
Why are
what
we
have you
Rim
done?
people?
You've still made you've literally made a woman a multi-millionaire-ess who has a mansion on the side of a river. She has a house that literally everyone in this entire stream would die to live in.
Someone sounds
Why?
jealous.
Because she was born with bigger parts of her body than other people. It's like,
Bigger
Her
boobs.
tatas.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Boombas.
yeah.
You
Like,
sang
she
to
could-
Jay? What did you sing?
When people were on about feeding
Hold
the
on.
5,000,
He's
Jesus
on a rant.
literally had to go and get food and multiply it, like take atoms and double them. That's something that's physically impossible, just to be well known. And
What
yet
song
Sydney
did you
Sweeney
sing?
could happily feed the 5,000 on her own.
Yeah, she's got. Never mind. What song did you sing to Jay?
I have no idea.
Were you
Well,
drunk?
the only thing Jay ever refers to nowadays is when I shouted at him in Fortnite because he blocked me in a door. He's like, I'm never going to play with him again. He's like, yeah, because I walked in a door, and rather than flanking, you walked behind me, and I tried to back up, and there you were, standing in the way. Die. It's like, well, I killed him. It's like, yeah.
He'll
I
never
still
forgive
went
you for
down.
that.
It's the whole thing. Get me drunk enough, I'll sing. I don't know, I'll probably...
Oh, okay.
Most
Can we
people
sing
would
a
prefer to
drinking
have.
song?
Most
Like,
people would
you
prefer to have
credit
my
one?
my singing
Oh, you
removed
guys,
from their
why are
memory,
you
though.
being so mean to Jay if you guys still won?
Because he got me
'Cause he's
killed.
gay.
He doesn't remember that. He just remembers that you
We
got him
did we
killed.
did so in that game. It's true. He did take the guy down that he made me die to.
Oh, he'll make it. Don't worry about Disparu.
I'm
got his death
English.
note.
Make it through a stream being
He's got his
really
death
I'm
drunk.
not even that drunk. I could have refilled my drink ages ago. It's like I'm not even that drunk right now.
Yeah. It's the desk milk that gets him. He hasn't had that in a while because we all bully him about it.
Well,
so
no,
like
it's
the-
because I was
Oh,
just
no?
finishing the
Oh, I
last.
thought he
I was
grabbed
just
it.
finishing the last of this bottle, but I've still got the whole Japanese one that I haven't even started yet.
Oh,
Well, I
what
started
is
it
that?
last week, but I haven't started it this week. Yeah,
Oh.
because I wanted to try it, so I still had like this to finish, and then this.
Mm. Join me
This is
in
the whole thing where people are
Drunkland,
like-
Drew.
Even though there's only, well, I suppose there's like technically 70 million people in the country now, but if you just took the English people and fought them off, made them drink against the Americans, they'd probably drink them under the table.
He's coming, Jay. We're gonna
We're gonna do
this-
Saucy in person for the first
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, I said I was going to MegaCon ages ago. I promised a Rudai. Speaking of a Rudai,
You're calling me Sevi.
Oh my god,
You
ew.
Changed it, you creamy asshole.
I meant the clip, not a rude eye. Just to be fair.
yeah, you did.
The clip is
Yeah, you-
gross. The
yeah,
clip
you
is
did.
so gross.
You meant a Rudai.
Okay.
You can hear it.
He literally came to me and went, I don't appreciate you jump scaring other people with my face. I was like, wait.
I know, even in my chat.
That was when I showed Wicked, and then after he said it, X-Ray came back. Went, have you not seen that picture? And I showed you, and you had the same reaction.
Well, because it's we're not ready for it. Like I'm reading an article and I look over and just boom. It's gone.
A rude eye. He like complains about all this, but he's the one doing it.
He doesn't. He does do it to himself. He does.
Exactly. He gets what he deserves.
Exactly. Like I say stupid stuff and I expect it to be clipped. Don't do stupid things if you don't want it to be clipped.
Yeah, you would have really
Wise
liked
words from X-Ray.
X-Ray. If you'd continued doing D&D, you would have really liked this kind of section of D&D. It is wild.
I think it would have been so fun. I'm actually like, I felt so sad when I called a rude eye and I was like, so I can't do the campaign.
Oh,
My life
there
is
was one week where Tugs couldn't be on camera or anything, so she was talking in chat for Sevi to read out what it was, and it was the week where Arudai did a Mort week, which is basically this guy that just makes kind of like making sexual content and stuff. And Tugs just went with it, and it was like wild.
Tugs.
And so Tugs and Mike basically seduced the enemy into an office on his own, and I spent the entire week dying, like with all the comments. It's been really fun.
I love it. I'm glad that she got in and Steph. So
Yeah,
Very,
her and Steph,
very
like
fun.
both of them are like it's the same with any D&D, like new person to D&D. You start off and like, well, I don't want to appear weird, and then it's like, no
let's
matter
get
how
weird.
no matter how weird you go, everyone else will just go with it because you're in an entirely different world, so you can literally do anything, and
be
it just
whatever you
exaggerates from there. And
want.
yeah, that's how you ended up with like Tugs and Steph. One of them is addicted to alcohol. The other one is addicted to inhaling stuff. And they both went off each other. So it's like one of them was like, I can't go into the bar. It's like, well, they do have booze. It's like, oh, let's go in there. So they both like, basically exploited each other to enter the bar. It was so good.
Gets me with that line. All right, let's
Yeah,
go.
it was so good.
That's like me at any bar, at any meetup. What? What can you
Yeah, you have they have booze in there. Well, you should have said that before.
All right. Don't pull my leg now, okay? Don't need to convince me.
Okay, before I'm falling behind on super chats already. I'm sorry, but we started
Sorry.
talking. It's okay. We started talking about secret level Space Marines. Let's go. What is your take, Disparu, that you think we're gonna disagree with? Go
Okay,
ahead. Oh my
one of the
God, what is that?
see, Ah, ha, ha!
ago.
I was like, there's no way she's noticed. There's no.
I laughed.
This is a Rudai's Veilguard character.
Oh my
It's like,
god.
like an old guy in college gonna go get beers for
Do you want to know
everybody.
how long it took him to make this? Because when we went over to Rumble during FNT, I clicked the thing during the transition and just said, it's great to see Arudai playing this during his coming out stream. And then when we finished Rumble, I went over to the stream and he's still making his character. So for over an hour to make this.
Very
That's
detailed.
really ugly.
I did
Like,
say,
really?
well, I mean, you say that. I said it looked like a Rudai. I was like, if you made a Rudai
No,
bald.
Oops, I didn't mean
Rudai.
to click on that. Accidentally clicked my place. Okay, anyways.
But I was thinking, one of the refreshing things about this entire Warhammer thing
Mhm.
is that you could, at no point did anyone go, I think we need a woman in this. Do you think that this, like, what would a
How would we
woman think
disagree with
about this? Do you think we need, like, any, like, why is there no emotional resonance? Why isn't there a guy talking about how hard it is to be a supermarine and crying about how depressed he is over the time or anything?
Because they're
All it is
tough men.
a load of men going into a danger zone and getting a mission done
Fighting
and dragging it out.
Well,
And that's
and
it.
the crazy part is, the one line that kind of like hit me was like, "You have this mission, like what was it, like imminent death or something like that?" You're like,
yeah.
"Oh hell no, I'm excited to see this." And like do you know what the creature's called? The like the flyy, wispy in your head creature.
No, I don't know all the in-depth like 40k lore and stuff. I've only seen like, but there was something similar in like, there was a moment in it that reminded me of like the Astartes and things where they clearly know what they're facing, right? So they go down, a guy comes out of a box, he's meant to protect them, and then this monster comes out. And they stop immediately what they're doing. Nobody says anything. And they just turn around and they go, no, this is more important now. And they just all march immediately to it. And it reminded me of like FPS games where in your brain, you have like a targeting list of, and it like a healer walks around the corner like, you need to die now. And things like that is what I really liked. It was all prioritizing, and they didn't care like what happened to them. It was just they needed to do the highest priority thing to get the job done and get out.
But that's what a soldier is supposed to do. And before, like when they were dragging the cargo, come on, I guess we can call it cargo. You're just like, oh, that looks very important. I wonder what that is. And then when you finally find out what it is, you're like, oh, hot damn, I can't believe that was in there the entire time. And I don't want to spoil it for everyone.
Yeah.
But
Won't spoil.
just the fighting scenes, like if you played Warhammer, the game that came out, there is kind of aspects to it, but like these soldiers were like epic.
Yes.
Like the fighting scenes were one of the best, highlighted what they need. And it's funny because the last show I watched, like I love Arcane, the first season. The second season was a little lackluster because the fight scenes were just, it didn't highlight what they needed to make it seem epic. Whereas this, holy crap, the little things like head popping or shooting or whatever it is.
In this, they had a thing where the key to victory was essentially, I found a boy who didn't feel fear.
Yeah, that was.
And it's like, that's actually really useful in a war. Now, in multiple properties, which I would class as more masculine properties, one of the things that they deal with quite regularly is where the male character goes through essentially a load of trauma and stuff, and he doesn't break down. He doesn't need to go to therapy. What he does is he hardens himself. He basically turns off the emotion for the time that he's going through the ordeal, because that means that I can deal with this thing. And that's a recurring theme through multiple properties that I've heard of how men deal with things. They can basically cope with anything that they think that they will eventually get through, and then they deal with it at the end. And I liked that this was a new way of going through that. It was like, no, this guy just turns off his emotions. It was fine. Now, you would never get that in modern day things, because their attitude is that men are basically broken women. So they would see not feeling fear as a weakness that he needs to overcome in order to save the world. So he would have to feel fear and then realize that actually I should have felt fear all along. I should probably go for a cry first and everything. And this is like, no, that's the way you should be. This is the way you were born. This is what you were meant to do. And then for even at the end, when the guy's like, we should get out of here, it's like, no, I need to go back in there. And you don't get that from female properties. They would never tell that story. And
because the fear is their version. Okay, our version of fear and your version of fear are two different things. What we fear are vastly different. And that's why it doesn't come across. And so to see a very male dominant property portray males, and I'm not going to lie, I don't care what's underneath the Space Marine outfit. I probably think they're hot because of what they're doing.
well, it
Whatever.
also doesn't matter. That was the whole point. Like, a man is what he does. The reason why billionaires can get 20-year-olds is because of the action that they've done to get the money in the first place. A man has always
That is
been
hot.
a culmination of his actions. Like, you get, and there's so many things like this which are basically just like symbols of greater things. Like, why did, well, you shouldn't reply to her straight away, even come around in the first place? It's because she wants to know that you've got something going on in your life which is more important than she is. Because that means you've actually got something, you're doing something. And she knows that she isn't actually as important in your life as the things that she wants. So you have to be doing those things for her to care about you in the first place. And there's loads of things like that in life that just go through that people look at the surface level issue, but it actually it's an evolved action which has a purpose. And things like 40K take it to the extreme of, well, what happens when your entire species relies on you being peak man? And so there's no romance in this because romance is irrelevant. What matters is succeeding in the mission. So you only have masculine instincts throughout this entire series. Well, the entire episode.
This made me want, I know a little bit about the lore. I asked because I actually have a few friends that have always been into Warhammer. So I asked a little bit, just like a fast little rundown, because I wanted to know, I think I still would have enjoyed it, but knowing a little bit like about the Emperor and stuff, and that the children, soldiers, all that, like that, it helps a little. But I am interested in learning more about it now. It's very
I was at one point, you look at the books, and I'm not joking, there are so many books in this, I didn't know where to start.
I probably
Like,
will
so
just
many
watch like
series.
a long YouTube video and then get into the games, to be honest.
Okay, so you're going to set aside like a week.
Yeah.
No, but even a week. Is not
I'm not
enough.
joking.
It's
There's
not
that
enough.
much lore to the 40K
No,
universe.
because like if you look at like any of the lore videos, it depends on what time even you're looking at, right?
Yeah, because there's actually more Warhammer. 40K is one section of Warhammer, and then you've got other things.
And then the factions. There's so
I've
many
always been
different
into
species.
40K though more than the rest.
I think that's what I'm 40K. That's what I'm gonna stick to, because I enjoyed the game. I only did an hour and a half, I think, of like just the solo play. I do want to get into the game though, and I want to do the multiplayer at some point.
Multiplayer is so
guys.
fun,
Yeah.
especially the after the missions. I find that section is way better than the actual like 6 missions.
The thing that's always intrigued me about it is, because I used to think it was strange, the idea that you could have a futuristic civilization where they could find more advanced things from a previous civilization that was them, that they lost. And that always seemed weird to me when I was younger. And then now, and we've like gone through the years that we have, I'm like, no, I can understand how that happens. Like, your society goes through a decline, and you just, the thing that takes over can no longer replicate what it was before. And so your civilization collapses, and then you have to rebuild from the ashes, but not quite from the beginning. But you just can't reproduce it, because you have even things like now where like the Google engineers couldn't create the algorithm. They're managing the algorithm that they have for the Google search engine, but they couldn't make it. They don't know how it works.
It's sentient.
Well, I mean, it's just far too complicated for them to understand. That they are, and it's. I also think there is an intelligence difference now from the people we have working in places now from before. But even without that, it probably doesn't exist in Google. It's just that people made it that left the company. And so now you have new people that look at this thing, and it's so broad that, like, it would take me a lifetime to go through all of this to comprehend
And
it.
understand it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would suggest checking out the other episodes, because
There's so many. I heard.
I really liked this
out.
one, so
There's only
I
8
definitely
that
will.
are out right now, though, so I don't know when the next batch is gonna drop. The next one I'm gonna watch is Pac-Man. I have
Me
6,
too,
7, and 8.
and Dungeons and Dragons.
I
I
watched
don't
one
care
already.
about
That's-
Pac-Man. Like, at all.
I'm just watching all of them. But there's only 8 that are out right now, so I don't know
watched
if they're
the
gonna drop
Armored
another
Core
batch.
one. It's pretty good. Like, and I don't know anything about the game.
Oh, thank you,
so
David P. December 17th for the last half. Okay.
17th. Yeah, second part.
I can't
Oh,
wait
good.
to watch it. Maybe there's some more games that we like. It just kind of reminds me. It's kind of like Black Mirror, where it's episodic.
Well, yeah,
and
it's the producers of Black
It's
Mirror
Love,
and
Death, and Robots.
and
Love, Death, and
Black
Robots.
Mirror.
I just
There you
started
go.
watching that. Oh my god! It's
Oh,
love
the,
it.
the
I love
latest
it.
season. There's one of the Love, Death, and the Robots, which is very similar to 40k. Not in like lore, but just the style of the show, where it starts with them entering a thing and just annihilating things, and it ends with brutality.
Disparu only watched the
Oh.
Warhammer episode, but he's gonna go back, I think, and watch.
Yeah, I watched the Warhammer specially for this and
Mhm.
really liked it,
Well,
so I'm
and
going to go
that's,
back
like,
and watch the ones that I'm
the
interested in,
crazy
which
part-
will include that.
This gives you an idea of maybe what could be Cavill's Warhammer. I hope.
Yes.
I
That'll be-
freaking hope.
Well, at
yeah.
least gives the potential, right?
Yes.
Because it means that Amazon didn't interfere in this.
And I really hope that if Cavill knows what his worth is, that he will prevent them in his contracts when he first initially,
I think he will
Fine.
because look what happened with Witcher. So if they're
But you-
smart, if these studios, I mean, they're not smart. They've proven to us over and over again that they're just like not very smart. But if they pay attention to where the money's coming in and they want to actually earn money, they're going to see the difference that when they don't interfere too much and they let the actual creative process go without the suits hopping in and putting their 2 cents in, it comes
just
out much
depends
better.
on all that, because I really think that like they think they're the smartest.
They
People
do.
think
That's
they're
true.
the smartest. So if Cavill had the right lawyers, and that's really it, the little fine print, when you sign it.
It's
hope
Kitty.
it's good.
8 episodes dropped for Secret Level. It's on Amazon.
Prime Video. So if you
Prime
have
Video.
an Amazon Prime account, you can watch it. It's
Yes.
honestly, they're between 10 to 20-minute videos. So
Mhm.
it's not long.
Yeah, they're really
you can bang them out in like maybe 2 hours, maybe.
Yeah, I'm taking my time just watching one a day, and I started a little bit later. So by the time the next batch drops, I'll be ready.
Mhm. Ready. I'm ready.
Yeah, it's
My
I'm loving it.
body is
I had
ready.
faith in it when I found out that it was the people from Love, Death, and Robots. But someone also told me, I don't know if Love, Death, and Robots and Black Mirror are both also the same person, but the Black Mirror people are also a part of it too. It's Love, Death, and Robots and Black Mirror, from what I've heard, and you can see it. For like it's
I mean, I'm enjoying Love, Death, and Robots. I watched season 1. I've gotten to that, and just
seen 'em all.
there's some great episodes in it.
There
Oh
is.
my
And even the
God.
ones that are a little like lesser still aren't like that was awful. There's some that are way better than others, but even the ones that are not as great are still worth watching.
Oh my God, I love the one where it was like futuristic, and then they had the kitties.
That's
Remember that
gosh,
one?
I remember that one, but I don't remember like fully because it's been so long since I watched the first season. Of course, that's the one that you pull
I
out.
knew it. I knew it.
It is good.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh my God.
I'm losing my voice. All right, let me catch up on super chats, guys. I'm sorry. Eric Heffelfinger for 10. If Sydney needs a face, I know.
Yeah. This is the whole point. It's like, look. All I'm saying is that my face would look better framed by her thighs.
Well,
Wow.
you had to come
my
back for that one.
Or her boobs.
Same Borg Mega Man. Yes, same.
Oh.
Justin Martins for sorry, been a member for 6 months. Thank you. Disparu, what do you think about new Underworld movie? Seen they were making a 6th, if I'm not mistaken.
Wait, they're making a new one?
They are?
I like the Underworld movies. They were mixed in some. I wasn't really keen on the prequel. I think the first is still the best. I find it
Wanna
a
know
bit weird
something?
that you're supposed to use. I'm not sure I've seen the last one. I bought it. I bought the 4K collection of all the Underworld movies recently, but I still don't think I've watched the last one. I just find it weird that she's supposed to be on an aging vampire that you're going to make a new one. How on earth are you even
Yeah.
going to manage that?
There's probably going to be CGI and stuff. I still haven't watched The first one. I know. Chad, don't yell
The
at me.
first
I
one's
will.
the first one's the best.
I'll watch it. I've always meant to watch them. I just don't.
The best thing
main
is, right?
when these movies all first came out, we didn't have streaming, so it wasn't so easy to just see something. If you didn't see it in theaters, you had to rent it or you had to own it.
I think I first watched it on DVD. I think it's where I first saw it. But the more you find out about that movie, the more amazing it becomes. Like the guys that wrote it were just ordinary guys. They didn't have access to like funding or anything. When they were writing the script, they didn't have enough money for petrol or gas, as you guys call it, to drive to each other's houses. So they took it in turns to drive to each other's houses and buy pizza while they wrote the movie.
Really?
And one of the guys, who's a vampire, didn't put any makeup on to appear pale, because in a previous scene, there was just black mold all over the walls, and he was so sick from the mold, he just was pale as a ghost. And so they was just like, literally could barely do anything, but just turned up to be this extra because he was supposed to. And there's a bit where it's in tunnels, and they apparently said they spent a lot of time working out how, because they just had like one bit of stage, which they then redressed to look like different parts of the tunnel, but they mapped out like some kind of old PlayStation game, the map of all the tunnel systems. And then they were like, probably a waste of time. No one's going to follow that to make sure it makes sense. But it was like, well, you know, at least you did it. And it's that kind of unnecessary work to make it make sense, which I think makes a more quality movie. And they said that getting Kate Beckinsale for them was a massive thing. And the only reason that she read the script in the first place is because one of the directors was an artist. And so he storyboarded the movie himself and put it on front of the script. And so the bit where she's on top of where on the top of the car, like punching through the top of the car, was the storyboard that got Kate Beckinsale into the movie.
Really?
Also, she was married to the werewolf leader when she started the movie and left with the director.
Oh, is this the scene you're talking about?
Yeah, she used to be married to him. Kate Beckinsale used to be married to him. He's the werewolf leader. But by the end of the movie, I think, I may have my timescale wrong, but either way, by the end of the movie, she was with the director.
Oh.
So this basically split up a marriage.
That happens
like,
a lot.
That story is wild. And the soundtrack, like Rev 2220, is amazing.
This scene is this picture is what I think of, because it was all over the place. Sorry,
there's a song on the soundtrack which says
this one.
It's I think it's Rev 2220, and it's on about Beckinsale, or at least the way it comes across, because it's a soundtrack. And it's like, if I need to lie to see her again, I would lie and lie and lie. And it's this another line, and it's something along the lines of even Jesus would murder his mama to ride to hell between those thighs.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, that is such a great line.
Oh my god.
that is such a great line for a vampire movie. Also, what was the song? I think it's a David Bowie song. Bring Me the Disco King. One of my memories of my childhood, I was playing Tropico 2, like it's a pirate game, and I always used to play my own music onto the background, and I loved Bring Me the Disco King as a song because it was from that soundtrack. And my dad at one point walked past me as it was playing and went, I wish I was pissing wood.
Yeah, I'm gonna rent it. It's $2 to rent.
What movie or show?
You could probably get the DVD for that price by this point.
What movie or show?
Underworld.
Underworld.
Oh, I love the series. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I want
never
the
seen it. So
proper
back at that
Blu-ray,
time,
Blu-ray.
most of the stuff, unless it was something that I went to go see in theaters, it was my mom had the VHS or the DVD, right? And she never got like anything that was horror related. Not much sci-fi really either. A little bit, but not really. It was all like comedies and romance. That's what I grew up on. But 90s comedy was a good thing to grow up on, because 90s comedy was very different
Oh my god!
than what we have
even
now.
Watching Tropic Thunder again, like it's wild, the jokes that just would not fly today. And it makes me sad because
I know
fruit for you wings and it would get hurt. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Can't take a joke seriously.
Yeah, but I actually think that's a positive. I think that what
What do you mean?
Hollywood's next idea needs to be, you hire people that know how to clear out your companies. And so where before you had DEI consultancy firms, I think now you need anti-DEI consultants. And I still think the best method is you make a film like that, and then anyone complains, fire them. And you don't say anything at the time. I think you use the same method that using game cheats, right? So in an FPS game, if you hack, they don't ban you. They just note you down. And then they leave it for like... They leave it for like a month. And then they ban everybody they've detected. Because that way, people keep logging in to use the hacks because they don't know it's detected, but you're detecting all of them and you just keep them and you can go. And so I think that's what you do with these companies. You don't say anything. You just decide. Your CEO decides. This is the main issue that these companies have, is they need a CEO which has a spine, which is more than happy to take on like the bad press and knows the reaction to the bad press. And he's just like, no, we're changing the company. And he just goes through and they just sit in all the meetings and they just note down all the things. And nobody knows why it's there. Nobody does anything, but you just note down the language. And then you fire everybody that uses the trigger words, uses the language, and clear them out. And one way would be, you go, we're making this movie. And then anyone complains about it, you're just like, okay, fair enough. We'll take that under advisement. And you put them down to fire them. There's so many methods that companies could use to get rid of this stuff.
Companies, it's like they're so
all they need
scared
is
to
the
fire. But they're the will, and they are scared too, because if they fire like a gay guy or a woman or someone of color.
Well, this is what I mean about bad press.
That's what.
But the thing is, you'd be like, no, this isn't what our customers want, and you can do all of this in advance. You can have an entire strategy planned out. You can speak to lawyers about this stuff before you implement it to make sure that everything is above board, everything's fine. But what ultimately required is a CEO that has the will to actually implement it and is ready for the backlash. And the backlash is so easy to deflect because nobody supports this stuff. And it's so obviously racist, it's so obviously discriminatory, this stuff in the first place, you literally just need a person to pin it on. And you're like, they should never have done this in the first place. I'm amazed they even tried.
But that's what companies do. They create a rap sheet for you, and then when it's advantageous for them, that's when they're like, because I've seen like corporate do that, and I'm talking about corporate hospitals. There are so many ways that a person can get fired, but the ones that are always true are anything that deals with stealing time.
Yes, and everything.
Money. So
I remember one of the jobs that I was a manager at, it was a kitchen. The higher up, I was just like a shift manager. The general manager was talking to me about how annoying it is because it was so hard to actually fire somebody without them like collecting unemployment and stuff. And if somebody's like crappy and you want to fire them, you don't want them collecting unemployment because of your insurance and all, you know what I mean? Just that.
And
whole
it's
mess.
way harder over here than it is over there. You guys can fire people.
Well, it's
way
like
less.
so in the restaurant that I was at, she was explaining to me that it was like a 3-strike thing. Like, okay, you don't show up for work, but if you show up like weeks on time, but then you don't show up again, it doesn't like count. It has to be like 3 consecutive days or something like that. It's probably different now. This was like back when I was like teenager. But she did say, she was like, but if we catch someone stealing, because we had a thing where you could get like free water or soda from like the machine. Some people like wanted to be fancy though, and they would take bottles and you're supposed to pay for them. You get a discount, but people would just take them. So if somebody was messing up and just like really making them mad, they'd look on the camera. No,
then they
Joe
use
over
that
there
as the final excuse.
Yeah, they're like, okay, you're
Uh-huh.
out. Yeah. Like,
But they were
fire you.
always going to fire you. They were just looking for a reason why.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They just needed to build a portfolio. And I've seen this happen quite a few times. Their favorite employee, they can do anything.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But then
Everyone
the
knows that
person
kind of
they
person.
don't like, as long as they're working within the parameters of the rules, it's fine. But as soon as they toe the line and they do that one thing, I heard a person got fired for taking batteries once.
The thing about all of this is it's so obviously discriminatory. It's so obviously illegal. It's so obviously against all the laws. You actually wouldn't have any problem at all. All it requires is a different person to come in and be like, no, we can just frame it like this. And we just correct the framing. Because at the moment it's way out of whack. But if we just tell you the truth, well, now we can put you in a position where you're like, are you sure you want to defend this? Is this really it? And they just don't have the desire to. But when you're on about building a thing, I think it was DPD. So they're a delivery company, and they have GPS trackers in all the vans, and they track when the car starts and when it stops. And one guy complained because they were like, you started 3 seconds early, and you started like 30 seconds late. But over the course of multiple years, they were like, we have lost 15 hours of work from you that we've paid you for. We're firing you.
Yeah,
And it was all like
that's time
30
stealing.
seconds, 3 seconds, 10
They'll
seconds
do
at a
stuff
time.
Like that. They'll do
Yeah.
stuff like that. It seems so insignificant, but then in
Yeah,
the
because
grand
without
scheme of
digital
things-
tracking, you'd never know. Like a manager would never notice you were 30 seconds late. But once you've got digital and you've got proof, well, now it all stacks. But that's the thing. Whenever any of this happens, people are like, oh, well, maybe they don't. No, they always know, and it's always deliberate and it's always intentional, because at any point they could use the same strategies they're using against the people that disagree with them to go the other way around. It's just the CEO with a choice.
Okay, I'm gonna catch up on super chats. Then we're gonna do a quick cover of the Chronicles of Narnia, just our input on that, and then we'll jump into the Game Awards, and we'll let Disbrew end on the Lord of the Rings stuff, since neither of us watched that. But all right, Slosher, thank you for the Canadian 20. Disbrew described the best man in Viking tradition. In other medieval countries, it was best man with a sword, because with arranged marriages, the woman sometimes had a secret lover, so the groom needed a bodyguard. Whoa, okay.
That would have been way better if, like, the best man had to hunt him down. It was like, he's the one that has soiled my bride.
Yeah, that's where I thought it was going, actually.
That's what it should be.
He's the scorned lover you got to look out for.
Well, it's like, what's the best thing you can get in the West? It's like, well...
Ian, thank you for the 50 pounds. My dad wanted window blinds fitted recently. I went to help. The fitter asked us what pattern he wanted. We both stared at the catalog blankly for several minutes before the fitter chose.
I didn't even know there were styles of blind. Well, I want one that like blocks the sun out. You know,
Well,
you pull a cord and then it like
style
turns.
that you like open the blinds. Like, is that?
No, surely all blinds are just like you pull a cord and they go down, and then you pull a different cord and it flicks.
There's blinds where you have the bar in the middle. You bring it up and down, or you can get like
curtains,
electric, or
maybe those kind too.
I don't know.
No, a man would be able to decide between like pulling a cord and electric. I'm assuming it's like the style of the blind of like how it looks, or do you want flat ones or curved
I don't know.
ones?
We need clarification if you're still here, Ian. Do you mean like
I want ones that block the sun out.
Disproves a vampire.
Like men think by essentially the task that is to be solved, rather than how it looks as it's doing it.
I need both because I'm in Florida. When I first moved here, I had to wait and order some blackout curtains because just the blinds, my house was just lit up and I could not sleep. Could not sleep. So I needed the blinds and then blackout curtains.
I prefer two different types of curtains. You have the sheer curtains, and then you have the blackout curtains in front, so that you have the option. I always need privacy.
No man has ever ordered two different types of curtains on the same window. I don't believe that's ever.
Well, it depends on where you are. Like if you're where I am,
like,
it's sunny.
like
if you don't want your house lit up,
especially in the winter, because obviously we're like depressed in like, the north part. Well, you know, because
you're in Canada. That's understandable.
Yeah, so we want the sunlight in the winter. So and then I also
and because they're in Canada,
like I want to walk around my house naked. So. You know, I can't have people seeing me, but I also.
It's true. You're not American. You wouldn't just do it without the curtains.
Of course not.
No, we leave that to the people in Miami.
Children, neighbors, and I do not need them to be peeping.
That wouldn't
on me,
stop the people in Miami. They're trying to get a CEO.
I'm not from Miami, though.
I would think that Disparu lives closer to where people like to go out natural. Just saying, I've heard stuff about Europe.
Nobody wants to see English people naked.
What does it mean that? I mean, maybe not in England, but. Trying to eat a cherry.
We don't have nudist beaches for a reason.
I've seen Eurotrip, okay?
I am not.
Over there.
England has never considered itself part of Europe. This is why we say, "Oh, Brexit." It's like, no, we were never part of Europe in the first place. We're not the French. The French are like, yeah, we want everyone to see that we've got hairy armpits.
That's true. More French. Ready for a jump scare?
Oh God, I'm gonna have to maximize this one. To be fair, it just looks like the last trailer of the Game Awards.
I can't see the picture
Why
of her.
Why does Mazza's face fit on like everything though?
Because it looks like a AAA gaming character.
Face.
It just looks like a Ubisoft. Like that would happily fit in the next Assassin's Creed.
Melanie Maz for $4.99. I'm putting all the Gunnar games on the naughty list or naughty Christmas list. Jesus is the reason for the season and why I try not to fantasize about women.
That is a topic on Twitter which I have deliberately stayed away from because there is no way I could think of replying to that topic that wouldn't have offended people that I don't want to offend. And therefore, I chose not to comment on it. Because on either side of that are people that I actually like. And so it's like, well, whatever I say in this is going to be offensive to the other side, so...
In gaming, yeah. It's
there you go. It's not just the armpits that are hairy and Fran's, Russell.
That's true. It's the minge.
Yuck.
Who wants to floss their teeth? It's good for your health.
Ed Song for 5. Disrude talking about putting it on women's faces. The perfect time to come back to the stream.
Putting what on women's faces? I'm
The
not a
minge.
rude eye.
The minge, the French minge.
Yeah, that was like an hour ago. I gotta catch up. I'm so sorry, guys. Zencat for $4.99.
This is a whole thing where it's like, I had to think about YouTube. What can I get away with? And then I realized, you don't know English slang.
No,
So
I
you
don't.
can get away with all of it.
Yes.
This
This is why when a rude eye, not a rude eye, it's when my Gary said the other day, was like, oh my god, we got buggered. I'm like, is that an American word or not? Because I'm not sure.
we hear it enough. From
Yeah,
our-
but he said it means something very different over there than it does over here.
Zencat for $4.99. You and X-Ray are natural beauties. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Quick question for X-Ray Girl. Any
I don't know why
upcoming
Wicked's
stream-
taking a compliment. He clearly meant me and X-Ray.
I'm sorry. The screw just called me ugly. I might as well just leave. Bye.
Wow, no! Welcome back.
It's alright, you've got makeup. I just turn up. I have to turn up on the internet the way I get out of bed.
He rolls out of bed. Good morning.
Oh my gosh.
Any upcoming gaming stream with Mark? Miss him in the mix.
Not anything planned at the moment, so.
I'm surprised, like, not anything like Path of Exile 2 or anything, because I imagine you'd have, like, a couple of, especially games at the moment that you kind of have in common.
Oh my gosh. I've been playing that offline a lot with a few of my friends, and we just. I know
That was the thing. I
playing it
wasn't
as
sure
well.
how interesting it'd be to stream.
It's not as interesting to stream, in my opinion. I'm kind of
I
saving
agree.
it for a Sunday fun day, and we're enjoying it as that group. But from what I've learned is the more people in your group, the harder some of the bosses are, and I don't like
I'm
it.
not surprised. Yeah.
No, because it's such a huge jump. So I got finished Act 1, but it took me about a day and a half to kill that boss. Because at first I was playing it with a group of 4, and I was just like, this is not working. And then a group of 2, and then myself, and then I realized maybe I should check my my path, my attributes path. And once I changed it up,
Yeah.
everything was good.
I
It was
got
gravy.
hard after Act 1. I got hard stuck on the next boss. It
Yeah,
took
the
me
second
several
is
hours to
actually
get past.
hard.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was really hard. Even just like the little add-ons, like as you're walking
Do
through.
you know the
they're
guy
way
with
more
the
difficult.
knife? Is like a big statue that walks up and he has a knife and he pulls it out of his
No.
own shoulder. That one took me a while to get past. But the
I-
first boss of Act 2 hard stuck me for hours.
Yeah,
I had to go
the-
back and rejig my entire
wait,
build.
no, was that the hatchet? It looks like a hatchet. It's like a rat almost with the little like
I don't know. You're on like a circular platform and like a statue walks out of the background and pulls out something.
that's not the one I'm thinking of then.
It's in Act 2. But either way, I mean, there's other stuff. Like even with us, I think like something like Marvel's Rivals and stuff could be fun. I mean, that's like an Overwatch thing. I've been enjoying that. It depends.
No. It's a really good game, and I can't wait to see what the full game looks like. And realistically, I think there's 2 classes: a range class or a melee class.
Yeah,
So
they're very different. Yeah,
because I played a witch and I played a sorcerer.
I'm sorcerer.
They're pretty much the same. So
I think the mercenary seems to be massively more powerful than the sorcerer from what I've seen.
I want to try the warrior next. For
I've heard that
melee.
melee is basically stupid. And I mean that as in it's so ridiculously difficult, people don't enjoy it.
Oh, really? But
Yeah.
I think that it's fun playing as a group if you have a mix of both range and melee.
Oh, and
So-
yeah, in a group, I'm sure it's different.
Yeah. A solo, I have no idea, obviously.
People aren't enjoying melee from what I've heard in Path of Exile 2.
There we go.
Hmm.
I can't wait to play more.
I haven't played it, so I have no input. Bakunawa, member for 2 months. Thank you. Hey, yo. Hello. Jason Webster with the Australian 5. Hi to the adorably affable X-ray girl, incredibly intelligent Wicked Virtue, and the speedy Gonzalez of rapid fire wit Disparu.
I'm the world's greatest
Mhm.
lover if
He's
speed's important to you.
Oh, jeez.
Wow. Are you quicker than 38 seconds?
Well, obviously. I mean, he only achieved 38 seconds for the Wheel of Time series. But I actually went through both series, so, you know, I have an even shorter attention span for it.
Carlos Lima for 5. I heard Korean. Where is Gran? 5 hearts under one roof ruined me.
Okay.
Gran is not the hottest person out of that.
She's just for fun, okay?
Yunbi is way no, even just for fun. No, she's easy, right? So that's different. But even just from a pure attractiveness style, Yunbi's way hotter than Gran.
I don't know. I have no input on that either. Dave Chandler for $19.99.
You make
Fun
a terrible
fact-
lesbian.
Me? Well,
Yeah.
thanks. I'll take that as a compliment.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that as a response.
I would not want to be a good lesbian because that would mean I play for the other team.
Yeah, that means
I
you make a
don't
terrible
drink from that
wife.
Fun fact, one of the things keeping community orchestra alive is video game soundtracks. Classical enthusiasts are trying to
love
make
video
Zelda
game
and Elder
soundtracks.
Scrolls
Yeah.
concerts to a gateway for the youth to get into Mozart and Bach. That would
That's
be great.
based.
You want to
Yeah.
know one of my tattoo artists, like back when I first started getting them, used to play classical music, and my back piece was like one of the longer ones that I've gotten, and it was so nice and just calming. And it's funny because he was like this big like black guy, so you would think honestly like if you want to be like stereotypical that he's gonna bump like gangster rap or something, but no, he was very chill. He had classical music playing. It was like a whole it was just a vibe. I loved it.
One of my favorite music things. So you have like Lindsay Sterling that does
I love her. I
yeah,
love
she does
to
like
see her in
violin stuff,
concert.
but she does
Yeah.
lots of gaming soundtracks, and then she'll also do more like traditional things. Then you got the piano guys; they also do more traditional stuff, but then they'll go and do like a Mission Impossible soundtrack. And then you have people like Apocalyptica, which will do like metal music, but all on 3 cellos. And I've always liked the people that mixed things and did things from a different style, but also did the traditional combined with the modern.
Yeah, that's not remixes.
No, it's more like it is like a fresh take, literally, rather than how modernity takes a fresh take. This is literally we're going to take aspects of modernity and mix it in with that, and see if we can give it a different kind of feel.
Yeah, it's like how Dan Bass can like turn a song more like rock.
Yes,
or metal
Dan's
or
a great
whatever.
example, actually.
Fusion. Thank you, Andrew. Fusion.
Yeah. Because he will do something that, like a Lacuna Coil song, or and make it sound entirely different, but it's still recognizably the original content. And that's what we miss nowadays. When they do it like a reimagining, it's entirely different. It has no resemblance to it at all. Rather than being similar, but slightly
Which
different.
I think a lot of artists are lacking in these days, and I'm not talking about just specifically music, but movies, because it is art to make a movie and to make a reimagining of like things like we see here, like Snow White, for example. It's not entertaining.
No, it's not. It's a cash grab, but they're not even going to really make money off of it. So, whoops. That was Lindsay Sterling, by
well.
the way, in case anyone was wondering.
I
She
have
does.
never seen her. I saw her music first in Beat Saber.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, she does. Like, I love her just vibe with the dancing and playing the cello, or the violin. Very good.
There's something else that I can't remember what channel it is. It's an amazing channel though. I've not listened to them in a while. And they do modern songs but in the classical feel. They'll take like a
There's
modern
few.
song, but they'll do it in like a 60s style. They
Oh,
have a lot
yeah.
of like original artists that then became they like spun off their own YouTube channels and stuff. And it's such a great thing. And I think they were probably my first kind of intro into what we lost, because they'll do like the dance number from back then as well. It's like, actually, this is weirdly more kind of sexual than the modern stuff, even though the modern stuff is shoving it in your face. In these, they're just kind of like, they're doing way less, but it's way, it has a far stronger impact.
Postmodern Jukebox.
Yes, yeah, no, those guys are amazing.
I love them.
It is the Postmodern Jukebox. And even their first song, and it's basically in this guy's house, it's recorded really awfully, but the singers they have, combined with making it a different style from an age, is incredible. Postmodern Jukebox are great.
Very good. Ed Song, thank you for the 5. Is it worse that I not look at a woman's rec, or look? I only look if it is there. Can't critique the non-existent.
Okay, I
No.
will
Just look at little boobies.
As a woman, you can look, but don't stare. Like, you know, like you can do a quick look.
If she's got it out and she's on it, but you were staring, then you dodged a bullet. Like, literally. If you have them out and you want to get pissed at someone staring at them, that's your own fault. That is. But I get to what he means, and it's like there have been women that I've been interested in where I didn't know, like I never paid any attention to them, like that. And then there is others where that's the only thing I'm interested in. It depends on the person.
I think okay. So is this a person that you want to talk to?
Good point in sense.
Because I think if you want to talk to them, that also matters.
Yeah.
I think the more interested I am in them, the less I've checked out their body. I don't know if that makes sense. I think it does. I kind of forget to check them out. It's more like the less I know about the person, the more I would check out their body.
Like if
so,
you're
like,
having
if you're looking at like a model who's wearing a dress, then I'm checking out the model. Whereas if I'm more interested, like if someone
sounds like you're into their personality at some point.
It depends.
He's like, I don't know. You're still talking about women here. I'm gonna tread lately.
Yeah. The thing with there's two answers. There are the people that you're interested in long term and the people you're interested in short term. And so short term, it doesn't really matter, and you have far lower standards for them. But for me, the greatest compliment I've ever been able to give anybody is that I find you interesting. But I don't think women take that much as a compliment as such. I think actually women do take, despite all the, I think women do take compliments about them physically better than they do being interesting in the first place. But I would be way more interested in someone long term if they could interest me long term. Yes.
Like if you can have a good conversation with them, that's more important, is what you're saying. And like if you're having
a good conversation, more important,
but it is important.
It
like,
is more
it would be
long term than a physical appearance.
Even long term, I think the main issue is you have society interfering in the middle, right? So you have what you would want compared to what you could even reliably ask for in modernity, and that's a big. Well, that's a big problem, because I think what I would want no longer exists in society. I think it's literally impossible. And so you then kind of be like, well, what will you accept, rather than what do you want? And yeah, like it's what I mean. I don't think women wouldn't take your interesting as a compliment. Whereas if you were, I think women do value their own bodies more than they value anything else, because that is where their power comes from. That's where their power from men comes from. But
that's just an initial, in my opinion, when it comes to attracting a male. And if they only rely on that, then that's just that only gets you so far. And that's why you get a lot of bad interactions.
Okay, give me opinions on this. And I've always seen women's lives as almost in two halves, where you use your physicality when you're younger to get a man, but then you kind of transition into a second part where you become the mother, the house provider, the person that creates the home and raises the children, and that's where your value comes from. So you draw him in with basically physicality, but then your physicality ages off, as it will. People will always age. But you make yourself valuable to the man by the fact of how good a mother you are and the children that you provided.
That's called dating, I guess.
Well, yeah, but this is why I've always been like, when people are you always see them. James Bond, Pierce Brosnan. I always think of him as like the main James Bond for me, but they'll show his wife. They're like, oh my god, she's aged. Like, well, yeah, but she's been his wife for like decades. And so she's basically aged out of one thing into another. And so she's providing in different things. And I think the problem comes when you have like 40-year-olds, which are trying to compete with 20-year-olds on their physicality, because they never built up the rest of what it means to be a wife. They never build up the children. They never build up the value that you provide a man, which isn't just your body.
Well said.
I can actually see that very well.
Wicked's like, I just want to read super chats.
No, go
He's
ahead.
like,
Keep
"Wait,
going.
No, and I agree to that. And maybe I've seen so many vapid relationships where it's just physical aspects. And I think a lot of younger people, and especially the way I hear them talk about dating, it's really sad where it actually is just physical. And they don't care about the emotional aspect of being in a relationship with someone. And I find that really sad because that is probably the best part of being in a relationship. And that's why they don't care about seeing it in film, like an actual good, healthy relationship. They want to see objectification of a man, not a woman, because that is sexist. And it makes me sad for the world because, I mean, in the end, a relationship should build personality.
I could literally show you what I was interested in based on Postmodern Jukebox clips. Simply because it goes back to an older age. And there's stuff in Postmodern Jukebox where you're like, okay, there's something almost unexplainable about this that you just don't get now. Like the whole twerking thing, that repulses me as a person. Like,
as it should.
Well, no, because it's like there's a meme, right, where it's basically. I want to go degenerate. It's a woman on a sofa and there's a load of guys behind him without clothes.
The black couch.
And then there's one holding flowers and then there's a load of naked guys behind him on the thing. And like, yeah, that's kind of how modernity is. But there's something about things like Postmodern Jukebox where it captures something separate to that. And it's things like a woman where there's one where I can't remember the exact song, but she's wearing a dress which is just it's not sequins or something, but there's like dangly bits, and she's just shaking from side to side.
Oh, a
but
fringe.
That is way more attractive than someone twerking, even though you see far less. It's more.
It's the idea that like you see a woman in a bikini, obviously that's hot, and then you see the same woman in like say a high neck, very tight body, con suit, but like it's like say like sleeveless down to like her knees. Something like that, it can still be hot. You're still conserving a lot of the other body parts. Like, I like to think that, like, of course, I'm going to show my body to the person I'm going to be with, obviously, and not show everyone else in the world because I think I want to keep that special for my person, right?
I think what it comes down to is it's exclusivity is what provides something value.
Yeah,
right?
rarity.
So,
absolutely.
Oxygen on Earth, even though it's required for you to breathe, means nothing. Like, nobody values oxygen because it's everywhere. You go to the moon, oxygen is suddenly really expensive. Like, you would pay anything to have oxygen on the moon. And it's like anything else. It is literally something that's only for you is worth more. But the problem with modernity is nothing is just for you. Like, there's always been people before you. There'll always be people after you. And that takes all value out of everything. And when you see, like, the glimpses into the future, when people are replicating it, you're like, oh, I realize what's been lost. And especially, I don't know whether Americans feel the same way, but I grew up in England in the 90s, and I remember what it was like. And what it's like now is not that. the entire country has changed. And there's kind of it's like a constant. It's when you see something going back, then you're like, oh, this is what we've lost, and there's kind of like it feels like something is missing, and I can't describe it, I can't explain it. I can point to what it was, but it's almost like something was taken from you, which is. It's kind of ephemeral in a way, and I'm not the kind of person that would give like some kind of really pretentious explanation from it, or be like, this is the human condition or something. But there is something to it that we just don't have as humans anymore.
I totally agree, because if you show the world everything, nothing about you is special at that point because everyone has seen it. But if you save it for whoever, it's like the idea of virginity. Not that like that is something that is like, I'm gonna say like very few percentage can happen. But if you save it for your husband,
but it wasn't though. But back in the day, it wasn't.
Time,
and
like,
also,
it would be great.
And this is gonna this is really gonna piss some people off. I think.
This room phrases anything.
people always talk about double standards, but the simple fact is that men and women are very different. And so I think they should have different standards applied to them, because I think they do different roles. They are for different things. And therefore, what one person should do is different than what the other person should do. So obviously, double standards, I think, should be expected. And I also think that between the two sexes, what each one want is different in themselves. I don't think women want somebody who is so unwanted by other women that they couldn't get other women. I actually think women want the man that other women want. I think that's social proof. And so they don't want somebody that's never been with someone else before that would actually help you get with people. Where I think that's the other way around for men. I think men do want the person that's never been with someone else. Maybe it's not the person that couldn't, but it's the person that could have got with other people but turned them down. Men always want to be the exception. Like, it's like sex before marriage. No man really wants no sex before marriage, but they want him to be the first person that you made that exception for. Whereas I think women don't want somebody that's never been with somebody. They want somebody who has been with lots of other people that lots of other women agreed was the right person.
And now I'm totally putting on the evolutionary perspective. If no,
no. Unironically,
then
I think evolution
of the children.
No, I think evolutionary psychology explains basically everything about humanity.
No, and that's why I say they want to know that they're the only father for these types for their kids in this woman. Makes sense, but hey, we're in a postmodern world, so
yeah, I think women want to be the person where it's like he could have had anyone, but he chose me. Whereas men want the person where she's like, she could have been with anybody, but she only chose me.
Choice is a huge thing in any side of any relationship to be chosen. So hopefully in your dating worlds, everyone out there, you're chosen.
Yeah. Jesus Davila, thank you for gifting a membership. Brian Smith for 5. Disprove for the new Bond.
Oh, I don't know.
New sons disprove.
Hey, no, if it was offered, I would take it in a heartbeat. But given the way that Bond is going, I don't think they'd even accept me. Like, they definitely don't. They definitely don't want someone with a receding hairline to be Bond. They want someone younger in their 30s that will happily cry on cue for them to prove what a modern man he is.
When's the last?
And I would not. I would never have gone through the scripts that Daniel Craig would. So can you imagine the ones that the next one will be?
Yeah.
You have to remember that the entire Bond franchise is helmed by a woman, and I think that doing that as a whole, you shouldn't be allowed to do. I am way more into everyone has a place and you should be in that place than, oh my god, of course Bond can be held by a woman. It's like, well, no, it's a masculine franchise. Of course it should be held by a man. That's just common sense. And of course, Barbie should be done by Greta Gerwig because she was so successful. This just makes sense to me.
That's a good segue for our topic in a minute. Carlos, thank you for another 5. Disprove is cooking. I've never been prouder to be your stepson. Dave Chandler for $4.99.
I like to think I'm controversial, but right.
Controversially right.
Ladies, you spot a good-looking guy at a party, suit and tie, clean-shaven, fit. What accent would make him sexier, American or British? Probably
British, obviously.
It depends on what kind of British, though.
That's true.
No, that is very true. Yeah, like no woman has ever gone to a party and gone, I hope I go back home with the guy from Dave from Birmingham. I'm Dave from Birmingham.
Sure.
I'm from Liverpool, like innit? It's like nobody.
It was like, okay, that's fair. You agree
No,
with
but
it.
nobody wants that.
If it's
But
like
I don't think there's an American accent that can compete with the posh British accent.
Yeah, the posh British accent, I agree with that. But if it's
Like,
what
if
he
you take
just did an example of American, but if it's if it's a posh
Now,
one.
I don't think that's the same the other way around. I have my own favorite accents. It tends to be like Eastern European, Slavic, Russian. I
No,
think it's
you like
very
the
hot on a
Russian
woman.
girls. Yeah.
Well, not just Russian. That's also Eastern European. It's it's more like Slavic. But there's a certain type of South American which is very hot. But not most of America. I don't really detect much of an accent in most of America, where the southern one I can definitely tell, like the Southern Belle kind of accent,
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
like the Suki kind of one.
Oh, yes. It's okay.
Yeah.
Ravensfire for £5. Thank you. Games Workshop do good stuff, but then they also rebrand/relaunch their Lord of the Rings game to War of. How do I say that again?
The Rohirrim.
Rohirrim branding. Okay, thank you. That's not going to be the last time I ask that, probably. Ed Song for 5. Where will you spawn, Disparu? A table, a meetup, panel? I would like to know. No stream that Saturday. We will stream that Saturday. And Disparu is most likely going to be
100%.
just all of the above. He'll probably be at tables, meetups, possibly a panel.
No. Basically, we'll find a place. We'll stream.
Well,
and
yeah.
it'll be good.
Yeah.
Nerdrotic has been mentioning something. I don't know whether it'll happen. I'm just saying. I'm not saying what it is.
Marker Reality for 5. Drunk 3PO knows Gina. Gina knows Henry Cavill, and Henry is a Warhammer expert. Maybe Wicked could interview Henry about the lore. Yeah, probably not.
Sure,
but
sure.
we can dream. Can't
What
we?
like I'll be there. Like last time I was in America, I was there for like a week. I'll probably be there, I guess, around the same kind of time frame, kind of thing. But because I've never really been to Comic-Cons, and your Comic-Cons are way bigger than our Comic-Cons.
Yeah, MegaCon's really big. I've never been.
MegaCon's huge.
Well, this is the thing. I am the kind of person that would want to go to the actual Comic-Con. So
yeah, same.
See, I love shopping because you never know what you're gonna find.
Yeah,
but it's not even shopping. It's like the experience of stuff. It's like the meeting people. Now, I am also someone that doesn't want to queue, so I don't really want to queue for people as such.
No, I'm the same. I don't like. I go early. Like I'll pick like it's usually some B-level actor, which they still have long lines for the most part. But I usually pick one actor because I don't want to.
I'm an Englishman that hates waiting in line for things.
Yeah.
Because I stopped that when I was like a teenager.
Yeah,
the way I've always been as a person is, if you want my money, you can serve me now. Otherwise, I'll go somewhere else. And so I hate queuing. But I will be around the events, and I want to turn up for the actual MegaCon part. So if you're at the MegaCon, you're probably able, if you like, my DMs are open. If you go to MegaCon and message me, I'll tell you when I'm there. I'm happy to meet you.
There you go.
Oh, this was so sweet, honestly.
Definitely not a gator for 5. 4K's prequel is 68 books. Look up Horace Hearsay flowchart to see it. Cavill show will most likely. A lot
of people recommended Horus Heresy when I looked up where do you start these events. There was another one. I did get the original books. I can't remember what they were. There was original books that someone recommended.
Exactly, Hokies. He doesn't stand in queues. He's the one that queues you. Exactly.
This for cute.
It's not that. It's just that I think if you run a business, your business should be run efficiently enough that people don't have to wait.
Yeah. Well, the
If you want me to
problem
wait
with
to give you money, no.
the problem with lines for cons is sometimes like you'll get someone who gets like, I don't know, they just want to talk a lot, and then like that's when that person's handler has to say, okay, like, but you got to be nice about it, because if you're like, get out of here, there's a long line, people will get offended and it causes stuff. So it's kind of rough. I've worked behind the scenes at Comic Cons before too, like my
Oh,
local
really?
one, and it's my local one. It's not huge, but it's not extremely small. But
How does that
it's-
work though? Did you work with a specific person that you
No,
kind of
I
handled
didn't get
the
to do
queue
that.
for?
I
or-
did. So when I did it, I did Q&As, which was really fun because I would sit in on, sessions that I wouldn't normally have sat in on. The one year
Yeah, but
I
how
had,
does that like? What was your job in that kind of?
so I just had like to make sure, like, okay, if people are getting up, because people don't care. You'll be in the middle of telling some deep story, like the celebrity, and someone will just get up and slam a door and leave, and it's like rude. So I'd have to like get up and make sure the door doesn't slam, or if anybody had questions, they would come to me. And I also would walk around the floor and sometimes help. There was a couple times I had to help like artists hanging up their pictures and stuff, just little things like that. I didn't have anything cool, but it was still nice to see behind the scenes stuff a little bit. But yeah, when that happens, and sometimes the handlers are like really nice and they don't want to be mean. There's a lot of times they're just like a friend or someone they found like online and hired to like, oh, here, you want this
Well,
sign?
it's
What's
like
your
Jay and
name?
Gina. They just kind of knew
Yeah.
each other, and yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
'cause
that's what happens
I've-
with that. The lines
At the
and all
events,
that.
I've seen people, and like if this applies to anybody, it's not you. It's definitely me. But it's like you have a mix of people queue up, and at the first meetup, I was like, I didn't pay attention to the line at all. And the second one, I probably paid attention to the line too much.
Mhm.
I was like, oh my god, there's a guy queuing. We need to move on to the next one. And getting that right is something I really wish I had somebody else who was like objective, who could decide, okay, this has been X amount of time.
Time
we
to
need to move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
So
You
I
need
can
someone that's gonna
entirely
do
understand
that.
the job, because there's a few people that even now I can remember that I'm like, okay, I played that wrong, but it's just because I'm inexperienced and I'm like judging the whole thing and like how many people are in line compared to how long to spend with each person.
Yeah. And because of that, like I'm probably I'm too fast when I meet a celebrity because I don't want to take up too much time. Like there's times that they'll be talking to me a little bit more.
I've had people like that as well, where
And I'm like,
yeah,
okay, bye.
I was like, oh, they're like, I don't want to spend too much time. It's like, oh, I've just met you. It's like, okay.
I just want to say
Yeah.
hello, great to meet you, bye. Runs
Yeah,
off.
yeah, no, literally, yeah. I get that from the side. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because I feel like that makes up for someone that might be sitting there crying because they're meeting like their favorite celebrity and they're like crying and you got to sign so yeah, the lines get tricky, but again, that's when there's somebody assigned to help, like, okay, thank you so much, but we have a long line, we appreciate you, and we need to go on to the next. Like there's a nice way to do it, and of course you're gonna get people that aren't gonna take it well, but when you're nice about it, there's not really much else that you can do.
Yeah, there's people that I can even remember now where it's like, I hope I didn't offend them. Because it's like, I realized that I played it wrong in the moment, but I was also drunk at the time and in control of it. I'm like, oh.
Control, dang.
Brian Marshall for 1999, disprove preaching the truth. Yes.
Always.
74
It's
for
probably
199.
offensive if he was.
Hello, ladies. Hello.
I shick 74.
John Thomas for 2. Who would you pick to replace Beckinsale? Atwood?
I can tell you, actually, because for me, Beckinsale aged out and then I replaced her with Sarah Shahi. So for me, it'd be, who replaces Sarah Shahi? Sarah Shahi replaced Kate Beckinsale for me during Person of Interest.
So I feel like with at least Kate Beckinsale, I want a kind of like dark hair, very pale skin beauty with the blue eyes. That's the key for me with Kate
Yeah.
Beckinsale. And I
would
don't
agree with
know specifically. I mean, you can wear contacts, I suppose, but like naturally that look.
I think
can't think of
vampires
anyone.
generally tend to wear contacts and stuff anyway, because they want the kind of
Does
bright.
Kate have
Yeah.
blue eyes actually, or no?
Actually, I don't know, but I think a lot of vampires and like supernatural creatures wear contacts.
Yeah, I mean, you can wear contacts. It's not a huge deal, but I just remember Kate's like it's just stark features, and then when you have dark hair with blue eyes, I find that extremely striking. So, and that's not a common trait with a lot of people out there in the world naturally.
Yes, everyone in the chat saying her eyes are brown in real life, and the contacts
Yeah.
are blue anyway. She has blue
Oh,
contacts.
okay. Okay.
Ian-
Yeah,
I,
thank
I
you.
think that's very common for vampire movies.
Yeah, and since we are on the topic, Ian, thank you for the 50 pounds. It'll be great to meet you two at MegaCon. Disparu, if I see you, I see you.
What my question for Ian is, will you bring a kilt?
Of course. Let's see.
Well, I mean,
No,
yeah,
I'm saying
you
of
say,
course,
you
I'm just-
say
no,
of
no, no,
course,
I'm saying of
but
course
he will
that's
be
your
in a
question.
he will be in a
No.
foreign country in Florida, surrounded by
no.
people that don't like skirts, and he's like, I'm gonna wear
No.
one.
I'm not saying of course he's gonna wear
Hey.
one. I'm saying of course that's your question.
Of course, Ian is gonna
Of
wear a
course
skirt.
that's- No, I'm saying of course that's your question.
Wait, Ian. I want to find a kilt too.
Yeah.
I don't think women can wear kilts. I don't think that's actually something they can do.
Well, we're not actually Scottish, so it's okay.
I think you would legitimately have to wear a skirt,
Oh,
a tartan skirt.
Semantics is what I'm hearing.
okay.
Well, yes. This is why I say he wears a skirt in the first place.
he's gonna plead the fifth there.
Yes, he's
Um,
still insulting Ian as we go.
Ed Song for 5. I know who I am. I am a dude playing the dude, disguised as another dude.
There's
Lincoln
another dude.
Fires, Tropic Thunder. Legendary Scrub for
I watched
5.
that recently. It's amazing. I freaking love it so much. That
Well,
little Asian kid, so cute.
This is why, if you want to fix cinema, you say you're making that movie, you make that movie, and everyone that complains, you fire them. Because that's how you make money.
There you go.
And anyone that
Drew has-
complains is a negative
Solves
drain
it.
on your industry. Hey, I am so Machiavellian, I could literally fix Hollywood if I could only.
You could.
The issue is,
You just gotta
none.
get in. Okay.
Well, no, they would all be like, we can't do that. Like, no, you don't understand. You have to do, like, what Hollywood needs is a CEO which doesn't care and just does it anyway. And then all the people tells me you can't do that, they do it. That's the issue. The problem, Hollywood has filled itself with so many people that will destroy the industry. They have to get rid of them.
Legendary Scrub for 5. Disparu, gas is short for gasoline. Before it was
Yeah,
gasoline.
yeah,
a
the
knockoff of
liquid.
Gasoline, a product created by an Englishman, John Castle.
Whereas we have petrol, short for petroleum. Whereas you have gas, short for a liquid.
Yay, we can wear kilts. Ian said it was okay.
I didn't know women could wear kilts.
Ian,
So
I need to
is
coordinate
the
with
definition
you.
of a
Stop.
kilt something that's wrapped multiple times around you then? Because I honestly just thought it was a name for skirts that men wore. Like, no, I'm not even joking.
I don't know. Andrew Matthews for £2. What did the Mexican carpet fitter say? Underlay.
Oh, God.
Underlay.
Ed Song
my
for
God.
5. One and done. Never
Oh,
care to
God.
see them again. Rack question. One and done. Never care to see them again. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh my
if,
God.
If I see them again,
Dan
they're giving me child support. That's the last thing I want.
Oh my God.
Dan Fatsk for
Oh,
2.
God.
I
Has
heard
he
you like
changed
my
the
music.
picture?
Thank you. Yeah, it's fat Dan
That is
Fatsk.
a fat Dan Vask. That is actually a... That was a lot of effort went into that picture.
This
like-
one is for Disparu.
Like, Dan's country doesn't have enough food to make him fat.
Cajun Corey's been a member for 18 months. Spiders are the
Like,
only
he
web
already has to eat
developers-
rats as it is.
Spiders are the only web developers in the world that enjoy finding bugs.
Oh, God.
Wow. Wow.
Thanks, Corey.
That
I
joke.
actually find that physically offensive.
James Chandler for $9.99. Disparu is right. I just watched a bunch of 90s TV Christmas commercials. There's still commercials trying to sell something, but they have way more heart than today's advertising. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. Commercials in the 90s were great. You know,
They actually had the product in them.
Your audience to sell an actual product, which is the sad part, is that when you think about marketing nowadays, it's like, oh my God, if you do these like DI things, the people will come. No.
You know, some of the 90s, like especially Christmas commercials, still play. I see the they have like a Hershey Kiss one where it's just playing "We Wish You a Merry Christmas" like in bells, and it's like the little kisses. They still do that one. There's a Corona one that I remember from when I was a kid, where it's just like, oh, Christmas tree is playing, and it's just a palm tree lights up, and it's from like, I don't know. I was definitely like in the single digits when that came out. But it still plays. I see it sometimes like when I'm at my mom's or something because I don't have cable, so I hardly see commercials anymore, like TV commercials. But it's, I don't know. I like it when I see that stuff from my childhood that's
proper
still held
marketing.
up. Yeah.
And it's really sad that we can't do it to sell products. And I mean, like Jaguar is obviously a
gosh.
prime example of that. And it's really sad because Jaguar are cars that we should like and
We should
maybe
want them.
want. Yeah. strive to buy if we ever were that rich. But like now,
Mhm.
it's like, ew, no, thank you.
You ruined it with that stupid commercial. Ed Song for 5. 2 men streaming? That sounds unnatural. And Ed Song for another 5. Thank you. The last time Jamie Lee Curtis signed stuff, someone was an a-hole and yelled at her, and she just walked off and never did a consent. I'm sure there's plenty of celebrities that have done that, but you also have to be very you have to have thick skin to do these, because you're gonna get jerks. You're gonna get for sure,
Absolutely.
especially if you're an A-lister like Jamie Lee Curtis. You're gonna get a lot of hate.
And like, even so, when I got into this like business, I knew the crap that some people dealt with, because I'm a huge fan of The Bachelorette and The Bachelor, and you hear about the stuff that they've gone through, and you're like, "Hot damn! If you don't have thick skin, don't be in the business."
Yes,
That's
you're
part of
right.
being in
Same thing
business.
for streaming. Like, don't even game if you don't have thick skin. Like, I know sometimes we shoot back at people. Most of it is just playing around. Like, if we pull up a chat, I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, we're joking. But like, if you get offended very easily, this isn't the
Get it?
Wait,
Yeah, this is not
wait,
the
get
place
out.
for you.
What happened?
We're talking about Ed put a super chat up that Jamie Lee Curtis, someone was like a big a-hole to her at a con, and she walked off, and she hasn't done them since. And we were
Oh.
saying that you really got to deal with stuff like that. Like, if you're gonna do that, you have to have thick skin, because you're gonna get a lot of jerks. And then we went into the same thing when you're a streamer, even if you're just gaming. If you get easily offended, this is not for you.
Yeah, I thought you meant that we'd replied to somebody that got really offended, and it's like, yeah.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
Well, one thing like, one of the things that when you get a lot of messages, each message isn't important, isn't as important as like it is the person sending it, and so you kind of think you take everything as entertainment, right? So the sweet spot you want is that you want something to be true but also entertaining. So it's probably exaggerated, it's probably hyperbole, the way it goes, which can come across as offensive. But I'm also a kid from the 90s where a kind of offensive was the way everyone communicated. And so that's my preferred method of communication.
That's
and
why I say, like, I grew up on 90s comedies. That It's different than what kids are growing up with now. Like, some of the stuff I probably shouldn't have seen, but I'm very thankful that my mom didn't shelter me, because it made me who I am now. Like, of course, shelter your kids a little bit, but too much
aware.
It doesn't prepare them for real life, because not everybody gets along. Not everything is sunshine and rainbows. You want them to see struggle, be around people they might not like, because you're not going to like everyone that you have to encounter in your life.
It's realistic.
Yeah.
I think a parent's job is to immunize their children from the future. And so it's to expose them to enough of the world that they build up a resistance to it without exposing them to so much that they become it. Because I think the future is worse than the past. And so you want them to be able to cope with what happens in the world without taking part in it. And I have messages, like there was a guy who recently DM'd me and then got really upset that I didn't respond. Where it's like, are you autistic? I'm like, I don't even think autism like exists as a thing. I think autism is used as diagnosis for people that aren't part of modernity. It's like you're not socially, you haven't been socially indoctrinated into the modern thing, so you behave different than the modernity. And I think that's the same for a lot of the mental diagnosis. It just means you haven't fit into the current society. But if you also think that the current society is very sick, then fitting into it probably isn't a good thing. And so I disagree with a lot of the current mental diagnosis. And that's what if I had children, I would want my child to basically be a mini version of me. Because I think I've coped with society about as best as I could. And I wouldn't want them to succumb to modern values. I would want them to be far more in line with traditional or Victorian values than modern ones, which would inevitably lead them to not be able to really fit in with modern culture.
Yeah,
but I think it would be better for them in the long run.
I think the same could even be said about like Americans too. Like it's different, but I would rather instill old school,
100%.
Yeah, same.
Especially,
and like,
I think it's even more important if she's a daughter. I would like the more like, if she's a daughter, I'd be 15th century, 14th century, 1000th century, like send it back as far back as she can physically go. Whereas if it's a bloke, yeah, it's not going to damage him forever.
Yeah. That's why a lot of people go for homeschooling, and I'm all for that. But the one thing about homeschooling
yeah.
is everybody just goes, well, as long as they're socialized, it's okay. But there's a difference between like if you're homeschooled and like you have friends, and you socialize with people you like, that's good. But I think if you're gonna homeschool your kid, you need to put them in some kind of a program, whether it's a sport, something where you're in a group activity, because again, that you're around people that you might not care for, and you need that. You can't just be around friends, just around family, because you're not growing up like in the real world. Like nothing wrong with homeschooling, but you do need to have that where again
Socialization.
that socialization where you're around people that you might not like. It's not pleasant, but it's everyday life. And that's something that happens with some homeschoolers where they're like, oh, it's totally fine. Like I had friends, but they're not like, as adults, they're not prepared for the real world because it was like sunshine and rainbows for them growing up. They didn't have hardships when it came to socialization. Coming through what I'm trying to say? I don't know.
Yeah, well, yeah, and the thing is, like, you have kids, I have theory. So I only have like an idealized version of what I think would work. But what I do have the past, and it's very... The way kids are brought up now is incredibly modern. It's basically an experiment compared to what we've had for the rest of history. The entire idea of bringing kids up around kids is entirely new. The whole, well, teenagers rebel. No, they don't. Teenagers do not rebel. Teenagers, for almost all of history, have done exactly what their parents have done. They've done the same jobs, they became apprentices, then became masters, and they just followed the family tree. It's only very, very recently they started to rebel. And I think that comes with socializing your children around other children. Before that, children were socialized around adults. So you'd own a farm. They'd be raised around the farm. They'd do what the adults did to raise the farm.
Yeah,
and you would end up with children. Well, you would end up with children far more like, if you ever watched Clarkson's Farm, I don't know if you have, but I'm sure people in the chat will, around the people liking Clarkson's Farm, where their father was a farmer, their mother was a farmer, their father's father was a farmer, and throughout the entire family line, they've only lived in this one area. They've raised the same land, and they've done that for centuries.
So
that's the way that all English people were raised, and they were always raised around adults, not children.
I would say, at least in like America, like there is some truth to that. Even over here, like back old school, kids wanted to keep their parents happy. They went to school and stuff. And a lot of the rebelling would depend on who they were friends with. But some kids, like, okay, I'm going to use myself as an example. I had some degenerate friends growing up, but I just looked at them like, what are you doing? Like I had my own brain, but that's because of the way my mom raised me and she didn't shelter me. And I grew up knowing about the world more than some people. So when I seen that degeneracy, I was like, okay, I'm just going to go home. You guys go be gross or whatever. You know what I mean? But
I've always thought, I'll continue a sec. I've always thought the virtue is in the hard path. So the easy path is to do what everyone else is doing. The hard path is to resist it.
Yeah, exactly. And some, and it's not to like down teenagers and stuff. You're still growing and learning. You don't know what to do. So sometimes they make the bad decision and they rebel. I do think rebelling has always been there. It's just gotten way worse. Like rebelling before would be like, oh, I'm going to leave school like 10 minutes early and not tell my parents, something silly like that.
I'd have a nose ring, and now it's like, I'm going to have 100 people on OnlyFans.
Yeah, exactly. It's very different now. Jason Webster, thank you for the Australian 5. My strength is I am incredibly loyal to those I care about. Good times and bad, I am always there for them. I am the give the shirt on my back type. Well, that's a good way to be, Jason. Everyone
A degree.
Needs a friend like that. But don't let people take advantage of you.
That's what I was going to say. Those kind of people are very easily walked over. And you need to be able to separate the good people where they would do the same for you and the ones that wouldn't.
Exactly. Justin Martins for 5. What is a squirrel's favorite ballad? Nutcracker. You like that one?
I like that one. Yeah.
Brian Marshall for 4.99. Disprove. Secret Levels Pac-Man is actually very interesting. You should check it out. New concept. I mean, it's only 15
I remember
minutes
Gary.
Of your life. Well, you can do it.
I'll probably watch it. Like Gary said, it was very weird. And I'm not interested in Pac-Man at all. Pac-Man was. I've played Pac-Man, obviously. But it was kind of before my time. It's not something I'm tied to, compared to like Unreal Tournament, where I'm actually invested in it personally.
Yeah. Cajun Corey for 5. If you are streaming, you have to accept that if you say something stupid on stream, you're gonna get roasted and clipped just like a rude eye last night. Very good point.
You
Too
just
late.
changed it, you creamy asshole.
So just because we didn't really hit topics, we're gonna go over a little bit.
And
But
it's not just the fact that you're going to get roasted. If you put yourself in the public area, you're going to get roasted.
oh yeah,
And
absolutely.
you have to.
Even if you're like perfect
Step
and you
back.
do nothing wrong, it's gonna happen. It happens with me.
Now,
and I'm just like,
The
have
key
an
is
X-ray disprove all of us. We all get it.
the key is learning how to cope with it, and everyone copes with it in their own way. But there's also two types. There's the men will just roast each other all the time, is what men do. But you also have the nasty kind of people that just want to try and get to you. And learning
Hurt
the difference
you.
between those two is a very
Yes.
useful skill. And I would still recommend you block the latter type, because you want to block the people that want to hurt you so that you don't even see them. You only have so much mental capacity, and you want to use that mental capacity for good people. And so you want to learn how to filter out the bad people from the good people. And those can
Exactly.
appear very similar,
Mm-hmm.
but you do need to learn the difference.
Well said.
Absolutely.
So Greta Gerwig's Chronicles of Narnia movies will be all about rock and roll. What do you guys think?
Now, Ryan knew way more about this than I expected
I think
Ryan
because
to
he
actually
grew up
know.
with it, though.
Yeah,
like
I
Chronicles
No,
of
but
Narnia.
I read the original books, but to me, I read the original books. It was like 20 years ago or something I read them, and I can't remember. But Ryan seems to have like a photographic memory of things that he was ever consumed, which I was
Okay.
very impressed by. He was like, no, you did this, and then we
So-
did this in the books. I'm like,
I actually want to read the all the books. I've only read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and I loved it. I have a great memory of reading that in 4th grade. My teacher, we were
yeah, but
her
it's not the
class.
first one, which is apparently what this one starts with.
Yeah,
The first one, from what I remember, is there's a load of like dust in a box, which they turn into rings, which allows them to travel through different dimensions. And one of those is the Narnia dimension. They drop something in the ground, which turns into a lamppost. The lion comes along and like roars, and it makes into the lamppost or something like that. But
Yeah.
if that's what the movie starts with, I don't know how they're going to make the first movie, because barely any of it is in Narnia.
Yeah, I was just gonna say this. The Lion, the Witch is the first one. So Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is the Wardrobe is the first book. I've seen all the movies, which I thought, besides the last one, which wasn't great, but the only book I've read is the first one, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Yeah, but
again,
Ryan said that this was going to begin with the
prequel?
magicians.
So it's gonna
Something,
begin
which
with
is
the
the-
prequel.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the weird thing is because this was all pre-internet when I read these books. So
Yeah.
they must have been published in the chronological order rather than the order they were published.
Okay, so
because
they're
I-
doing chronological verse. Okay.
Yeah, I read them. Well, I read the first few anyway in the chronological order.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna read the other books. I just never got around to it, but again, saw the movies. Besides the last one, they were good. I don't think Greta Gerwig should be touching this at all. She's gonna make a mockery of it. I think it's not gonna be. This is a Christian book series, and she's gonna step away from that completely. I would be
feminism
shocked.
aspect.
Yeah, she makes
she's
great
gonna-
evil feminist movies for
So
evil people.
I don't think this is going to be good. I think a lot of people are going to get offended and they're going to hate it. When I saw the rock and roll thing, I'm like, are you kidding me? What is
Like
she gonna turn this into
Narnia
a freaking
isn't about
musical?
rock and roll. It's
No,
about
she-
being a
No.
fantasy.
It's like,
Rock
does
and
she
roll
mean-
wasn't even invented
I
by
know,
the time
does
the
she
first movie
mean
comes.
this is going to be like a musical, or is going to be like they're going to rebel, like rock and roll? You know what I mean? Like I don't know what it means, but I'm not here for it. Not online.
And the
Not with
funny
Chronicles of
part is,
Narnia.
The girl who played the younger sister, as much as I hated her, I'm probably gonna find her endearing in comparison to Greta Gerwig's
Yeah.
rendition.
You know what's going to happen
all of
when this comes out? People are going to appreciate the last Narnia movie more. Like I didn't like that one. The first one I thought was really well done. The second one was fine. The last one was just. I remember watching it. I was like, what?
It was a little far fetched, but
yeah,
Well,
but
the
kinda
evil
like-
queen has to be sympathetic, right? That's where they're going to go.
Oh
That's where
my
all
God.
female stories
You know
go.
what?
The
It's
evil
gonna
is
be Rachel
sympathetic.
Zegler, isn't it?
Oh.
Oh, God dang it!
And it's going to be like, if only you ate my Turkish Delight, then you really would have
Turkish
actually
Delight is
understood how
gross.
evil you were. No. Turkish Delight was actually my favorite thing to eat.
Dessert.
Until my gran gave me so
Dessert.
much of it, I actually got sick one week. like from eating it every single
like
week.
it.
This
And
feels
now
like a movie.
no, genuinely, I cannot eat it anymore because even the thought of Turkish Delight
So,
makes me feel sick because
I
I
think-
ate that much.
I think as an adult, I should give it a try again. Because when I
It
had
was
it was
delicious.
it
once
was
upon
when
a
I was
time.
a kid. When I was a kid, the fourth grade teacher got it for us, and I was thinking it was going to be like a gummy.
Oh,
Well, it
It was
is.
not. It,
Well, it's like a gummy wrapped in chocolate.
was it wrapped in chocolate? The one she got us didn't have chocolate.
Ours
I don't
are.
remember it having chocolate.
Ours is like a gelatine
like
kind of
it.
thing wrapped in chocolate.
I don't think it was wrapped in. I mean, it's been a long time, but I'm pretty sure it was not wrapped in chocolate.
Oh, this is your American crap then. That's all that is.
We actually had less sugar in ours. What is that about? It looks like rose flavored. That's what I had, and I didn't like it.
yeah,
Gross.
yeah, it's kind of,
Gross.
yeah,
Who
I could
wants to
understand.
eat a rose.
I'll
Disgusting.
try it again. I'll try it again, and if
The
I can find
vagina of the
some, I
plant.
will try it on
The
stream.
vagina
Okay. Yeah.
And we've gone full circle at this point.
Mhm, yeah, this is why the
Everyone's
men
saying
liked.
they've-
This is why it was tempting to young men. It was essentially that bit of the
It's a
plant
UK
wrapped in
thing.
chocolate.
Anybody in the chat in the UK have you had what Disparu was saying? Because everybody else here.
No,
I don't know.
I think I
Yeah,
can probably
okay,
even tell you the
Mongoose.
brand of like chocolate in the
Mongoose
UK.
said it was chocolate. Okay, we didn't. I would. It probably tastes better in
Yeah,
chocolate.
there you go. It was Fry's Turkish Delight. I can even tell you the exact brand. Still going.
Really?
It probably would
Right.
taste better if it was wrapped in chocolate. I didn't like it, but again, that was fourth grade, and I thought it was gonna taste like a Welch's gummy or something. I was like, "Ooh, gummy!" Ugh.
Welch's gummies are great. Okay,
They're great. They're so good.
They're so freaking
So
good.
our general consensus is we're giving this 2 thumbs down already. It's gonna be awful.
I really
Greta
don't
Gerwig
think
shouldn't
Greta
touch it.
should touch.
It's going to be
this
the
IP.
Barbie.
They
of
could have
this.
gotten somebody so much better to direct this. Like honestly, they should have just left it alone. It's already been made into movies. Like just do something
Why
new.
are we touching something that's already there? Like, let's
Yeah,
just
it's
watch
already
the
been done.
original.
Exactly.
And if we're gonna touch any feminist IP, it's definitely not Narnia.
No, that's not a feminist IP at all. Just go work on Barbie too, Greta. Okay,
Well, the-
Yeah.
that's all I
Yeah.
gotta say on that. Um, so we are
just
over.
wants
Do
to
you
say
guys-
more. I can tell.
Do you guys want to do one more real quick, or should we save them for next
I'm happy
week?
to stay as long as like you. Yeah, this whole thing. Lion the Witch and Wardrobe was C.S. Lewis, and C.S. Lewis was based.
He was not
so
a feminist, okay?
no, no, no. But
I'll tell you
this is
that
the
right
point.
now.
They're taking traditional right. But this is the point. They're taking traditional writers that people liked. That, and I think a lot of point with these IPs is they were good enough to last decades. Like with the original content,
They're
people like them for
classics.
decades. Well, yeah, but now you're doing modern reimagining, and your IP won't last years.
It
So
will last a blink. And as someone I know who said this, the lion and the witch and the audacity of that bitch, Greta Gerwig. Don't
Who
touch
said
it.
that?
I don't
yeah,
know.
but
One of my friends.
Someone.
Someone.
over time, I have grown to appreciate more like the Barbie movie of what it said, as mainly Ferrara's speech, because I think Ferrara's speech was essentially the culmination of, as I've come to see it, female morality versus male morality and being torn between the two. So as a woman, you are torn between, should I go with my instincts or should I go with what I should be? But going along with the masculine instinct is more difficult because you're essentially going along with submitting with something which isn't natural to you, even though it may be better for you. And that's why you end up with, I need to be this, but I also need to be part of the sisterhood. I need to be this, but I also need to be part of this. And it's like, I'm trying to appease the men, and I'm also trying to appease the women. And at some point you have to choose. And in all of society, all of history, you've always chosen, I should be with my husband. Whereas in modern society, you've been like, okay, I need to be part of the women. And I think that was a good culmination of essentially complexity of making that choice. Except the entire movie was evil, and it was preaching evil, and it was preaching the wrong decision. But I don't think that the Barbie movie was wrong. I think it was just from the opposite side of the fence than I am. And so I kind of appreciate that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And yes, Wicked, to your question.
Okay. Allergic reaction beer. Picture. I wasn't ready. I've been lucky.
I
I've
see
never
so
been
many
roasted.
Beardo memes.
Beardo and Maz are like.
There was one as like,
mean.
Beardo just wants to straighten bananas. I'm like, what? Like,
Andrew Matthews for 2. X-Ray, please do not block me. I will be better.
When did I say I was going to block you?
I don't know.
I don't think I said that.
I block lots of people, but the people I block deserve it.
Yeah. Same. Dave Chandler for $9.99. C.S. Lewis's Christian apologetics like Screw Tape Letters, Mere Christianity, and the
Abolition.
Abolition. That's what I was gonna say, but I'm like, I'm seeing something else. Of Man are worth reading as well. Even if you aren't religious, they're great. I have them right here.
I'm not religious, but as I've got older, I have.
Well, I don't have the Abolition of Man, but I have The Great Divorce, Surprised by Joy, The Screw Tape Letters, Four Loves, The Problem of Pain, Mere Christianity, and Miracles. I haven't read through them yet, but I will. They're not that big. I'm a very busy woman.
I've grown to
relax.
I've grown to like talking to a lot of religious people about this kind of stuff and appreciate their point of view. I find the only thing we disagree on is the difference between whether it's God or evolution. But I tend to agree with their message and their values and their point of view.
Yeah, see, I'm Christian and I like that stuff, but I like the way Disparu takes, like, the thing is, people think, like, I have friends that aren't Christian and I'm not like, ugh. We can have different beliefs. Like, it's
when we're in London, I spent, and I'm not joking, I spent an entire night talking to Shad about morality, to the point where the hotel kicked us out. Because they came and they were amazed we were still there. But I mean, I literally was speaking to the Shad for hours upon hours in this hotel area, and it's kind of like I agree with everything except where it comes from, and to the point where during that conversation with Chad I realized that my point of view was not whole enough and I needed to come up with something else. So I now have basically an evolutionary perspective on morality, which I didn't have before. But
I think that's a great part of being so open in conversation about these sort of things and not being super closed-minded. So,
yeah, I really enjoyed that conversation with Shad. It was really interesting to see like the opposite side, and you get to test your values, and it showed me that I had literally no foundation for anything I believed. I had no reason why I believed it. I just believed it.
Believed it. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's good. I love conversations like that where, like, even if you disagree, you'll still listen, and it might even take you. You might start thinking differently because you're, listening to someone else's point of view, and that's that's a good discussion.
It's led me to really appreciate the sort of religious point of view to the point where I don't see myself as like contradictory to them at all. I think we agree. We just don't agree on the source, but we agree on basically all of the perspectives. And so I don't think that matters at that point. We all want to go to the same place, and then we'll just find out who's correct at the end. And so it's like, I went from being really kind of militant atheist to, no, I actually agree with you on every single thing except one thing. It's definitely been an evolution for me, the whole religious.
I think it's cool that you are able to have these types of conversations.
Oh no, yeah. I always really like talking to religious people because they tend to see things in a very different way than I could even think of on my own. And they test it because they're like, well, what about this? And they point out flaws that you've never thought of before.
Mm-hmm.
Ian, thank you for the 50. Me and Shad has such a good theological conversation that they kicked us out of the bar at 2 a.m.
No, I don't mean 2. It was probably more like 4 or 5. Like,
wow.
The guy came in.
Not drink, by the way.
Yeah, but I did.
Like
the bar closed like literally hours upon hours before we weren't supposed to be there. And this guy came in. It was like the bar's been closed for X amount of hours. We were there for a long time.
So back on the last topic of the night here, we went over, but I'm not going to say sorry because every time we end, people are like, no, wait. Well, here you go. You're getting along saucy today. So Sony's Astro Bot took home the Game of the Year award. Did either of you play that? I didn't play it.
Play what? I mean,
Sony's Astro Bot.
No, I've not played Astro Bot.
I didn't either.
Astro Bot looked like a platformer. I was like,
Oh, okay.
It looked cute, but it wasn't something that'd be like, oh my god, I need to play it right now.
Okay, there it goes. So I'm not gonna play the trailers because I don't know if I'll get clipped for them. We'll just kind of like
Oh,
Run-
game trailers you can. But, all right.
should I
Yeah,
play
no,
them or do
look,
you just
when-
want to run through them?
No. When it comes to gaming, unless they use like a recognizable song,
You're fine.
basically all gaming trailers are fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold on. I don't think I did share sound on that one, so let me just. We'll just breeze through them just because we.
But
This is one of
regardless-
the great things about being a gaming YouTuber. You can show anything.
That's cool. Okay,
Uh,
so
Siri, I don't think looks horrid. But
Yeah,
I
she
think could
does.
look
She looks like an
cuter.
ugly old woman, and anyone that's like,
aged
"Oh
her
my
up.
god, she just
It
running like,"
was-
no, she looks like an ugly dog.
I
So,
think if you changed
I
her
haven't watched
skin,
it
she
yet.
would be fine.
So
But
the
I don't
first
know
one.
why-
Exactly.
do
Yes.
that?
If you made her not look like a man, she would actually look like a woman. I agree.
Oh my god.
So I haven't watched any of these yet. The first Witcher 4 trailer sees Siri kicking butt. All right, let's see.
Maximize it.
Dearest daughter, I've watched ye grow from a devilishly curious child into a remarkable young lass with much grace, wisdom, and kindness. Take the easy times what shape us, nay. 'Tis how we rise to face the hard times what does that for us. You've an heart of gold. You've the spirit to overcome adversities aplenty.
You were the best of us.
Sweeten. Today's the day. Ye fill out your destiny.
That's Siri?
Do you want to know what the male part of that story would be like? Look, I remembered you as a child, but I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to take on a burden that you weren't prepared for. But this is your duty. This is what you have to do, and you have no other choice. And I know this isn't fair to you, but you have to do it anyway because if you don't, nobody else can. That would be the male version of that speech.
Is this supposed to be Siri?
That's
No.
not Siri.
No.
No,
okay,
that's
here
not
she is.
Siri.
Hold on.
No. There
Okay,
we
I
go.
don't care.
right there.
I don't care
Yes,
about her. Here we
Siri
go.
is the dog ugly woman that's about. There you go.
I don't think she's ugly.
Yes, she is. Women lie to each other all the time about how other women
Why am I
look.
gonna lie to a fictional character?
I don't know, but women lie to each other all the time.
No,
It's like-
I don't think it's that she's that bad. They
Okay,
aged
then
her up.
draw up a picture of how she used to look, and like
she
her
was
entire.
like- She was,
there's a com-
how
there-
old was she? Like 16?
yeah, and is that why her entire bone structure has changed? Do you
Let me
go
see.
from
Let me watch a little more. Hold.
like what happens as women age is they lose a lot of fat in their cheeks, but their face doesn't actually change.
But that's
I
why
don't
I say
know.
the chin is probably the only thing that like makes me think like they made her butcher because of that.
If you put a man in a blonde wig, it'll look like that. That's why.
Well,
So-
I mean, she's no Yennefer or Triss, but
You have to remember that this is a gaming character. They can make them look like anything. They could have had an old, attractive woman, and they chose an old, ugly woman.
who's
Like
that?
Jesus Christ, that was orc face.
Orc face. All right, I'm just gonna skip ahead a little bit.
Back to the village. Go now.
What is she like Geralt now, and she's gonna be like protecting this girl or something? That's the
Th-
vibe I'm
this-
getting.
This is the other half of the controversy. She is now a full Witcher, which women couldn't survive the Witcher trials. Adults couldn't survive the Witcher trials, and she went through it as a
Does
female
she-
adult.
Does she become a full Witcher in the books?
She is a full Witcher. No, well,
No,
no,
but
in the
no,
no,
in
in
the
the
books,
no,
in the
no, no, no.
She has
Okay.
a different set of skills because of her background, but I
It-
think
it-
Here, I'm just gonna
they
mute
take
Let me
it a little further here. Like they forgot the books.
It's a
That
bit like
angle
in
just
Rings of
got old.
It's a bit like in Rings of Power, where Galadriel's strength came from her being a mage. But because they only see strength coming from a male role, they made her a sword fighter. Whereas they've done the same in this. They've basically made her a witcher like Geralt, even though she never went through that. She couldn't survive the trials. It's physically impossible for her to do.
Okay. So agreed that she definitely was prettier in the other games. I haven't played them, but I've seen a
Definitely.
lot. Definitely. I don't think she's like hideous here, but I do think that they did what they normally do, where they do
No,
dim it
but
down
if I wanted to be a female witcher in a blonde wig, I'd look like that.
Oh my god.
Well, this is the whole thing. When women are like, "Oh my god, she doesn't like the look," okay, so you like a man in a wig then, because that's what you're looking at. And you could have made her look like anything, and instead you made her look ugly. Like, women always lie to each other about how people look. And the whole thing is about, there's a load of leftists on Twitter. It's like, oh my god, she doesn't look ugly. It's like, I understand. You're surrounded by genetic mutants who are weak and feeble, and their support your ideology. But for those that are actually surrounded in daily life by attractive people, and actually know what attractive people look like, they don't look like that. Maybe you just
agree.
have low standards. Ma'am.
I do agree that it's less feminine here.
Like it's crazy because when you play The Witcher 3, she has the I don't know what to call it, where she like transports as she's fighting,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't even want to put that as a power that she has in this.
Yeah, I wouldn't say she's hot or beautiful in this, and that she could have been, and she probably should have been. But again, this is what video games do now. I don't think she's hideous, but I'm not saying they should have made her gorgeous. They didn't.
There is only attractive and hideous. There is no mid when it comes to games, because she could be anything. So you choose. And if she's not attractive, she is rough. And I'm sorry, she is hideous. Like that is like, and you could be like, oh, she's mid in real life. Yeah, okay, across the entire breadth of humanity, maybe she is. But she could be anything. And so you are comparing her against the two extremes, because there is only two extremes when you can make somebody anything. There is only good and bad. Because if you didn't choose to make them good, you chose to make them bad. So if you didn't choose to make her attractive, you chose to make her ugly. And that is an ugly old woman.
Is Geralt not in this one then? It's just her.
I think he is in the game. I'm sure. I think I read something where he is in the game, but she's the main character.
Okay.
And they also said she went through the trial of the snakes and whatever it is. I'm not a big Witcher lore guy.
Okay.
But it's essentially the Witcher trial where they take through the poison, and adults can't survive it, women can't survive it, and she was both and survived it.
And what's this one? Intergalactic. Okay, I don't know what this game is.
Like, that's the whole thing. A lot of people have a problem with the lore, and I'm like, no, she should be attractive. She should be at least as attractive as she was. Oh, is this the bald? Okay. This was the final trailer that they showed. The big finale. This was the best one. And if you didn't think the last one was ugly, I'd love to see your impression on this.
Trailer? I don't understand.
Hey, wait until you get to see the wench.
I turned it down a little bit. That was loud. There's no like dialogue yet. Oh,
There isn't actually that much. Yeah,
Okay.
This is the one. Yeah, this is the. And I've seen this at like titled to G.I. Joe and everything.
Shaver is not that good. If
Shaver is crap. You're crap. This game's crap. No kidding. But
now
no,
the interesting thing is she is basically captured from a real actress, and people are like, oh my god, the real actress is attractive. No, because she also has a bald head. And people are like, oh my god, she looks like... No, because you're not a man, you're a woman judging what you judge. Whereas men judge from other things. And the actual actress also has very, very short hair. She would never be described as attractive.
You're right, it checks out. He's hiding out around the
No.
Imperial Moon.
Excellent.
How is that excellent? He's next to
I think a lot of this is that women just lie to each other about how attractive they all are.
yours. Anyone who even flies close to it is never heard from again.
And so you get this, and it's like, well...
No. Worth it.
Okay, we can just skip through a little.
you know what I've seen?
Okay.
I even saw a game developer
There he is.
brag about this because she put a jacket on.
So,
It's like, wow, that's really
Why?
difficult.
we
That's
can
really
put
difficult to do.
Put jackets on.
Yeah, but apparently putting a jacket on is really difficult to do from a game perspective, and that's why they pan the camera over as she actually puts it on, so she puts it on one arm because it's easier to do, and then it pans away and she's already got it on. It's like, this is impressive. Like, yeah, but she's also ugly.
Oh, product placement, Adidas.
Yep. So who is this? Is this
This is Druckmann, the same guy that did Last of Us 2.
Neil Druckmann. Yeah.
Okay, no wonder. It all makes sense now.
Because if you remember Last of Us 2, there was a very strange scene where someone got taken from behind who looked like a bloke.
Yeah,
You know,
this is.
Can we forget about that scene already?
No, because I think you probably have something like that in this scene. I think you would.
Is she giving it or taking it?
I think that's a personal interest that gets put into many games as a fantasy self-insert.
I mean, I will say this: the game looks pretty,
Wicked.
but it does not look interesting.
Thanks.
I
Ian.
think it's very similar to the Star Wars game that Mahler played. Like the graphics look really nice, but the gameplay probably is going to be really crap, as well as the story.
I think if modders can fix your game in 20 minutes, then you're a bad game developer.
Yeah, that's true.
Freaking lootly.
Cyberpunk Returns. I just don't want to forget some of these after. I believe in Jesus the same way I do as Thor.
Oh,
interesting
okay.
take.
I used to be like that. And although from an objective standpoint, I probably am, from a more the meaning of life perspective, I've definitely softened to the point where I think the religious people are right about more things than they're wrong. I just don't think that they're right about where it. I just don't think they're right about where it comes from, but I agree with them about the actual meanings. On anything that matters, I agree with them.
Are you guys excited for this one? You like Elden Ring, right? Well, I know X-Ray played it. I don't know.
I am very excited about this.
I think it looks interesting enough, so we'll have to see how it goes.
Well, like IGN for some reason got to play it early. I don't know why.
Because it's IGN.
But it seems to be like maybe their version of like Monster Hunter, which I've never really played Monster Hunter, but I know so many people like it. And so if you can,
I hated
it. If you can merge the Elden Ring combat with, because people have described it like a roguelite. I like roguelites, so if you can make roguelite and Elden Ring, I'm in.
It looks nice. Visuals.
I mean, the game deserves a lot of accolades, and I'm regardless, it probably will be good. It's just a matter of, will I actually like it?
There's a lot of things, like at one point he was on about, he took inspiration from the multiplayer from Escape from Tarkov. I'm a big fan of Escape from Tarkov. I think it's got a lot of problems, but the PvE, I actually think is like an incredible game. It's the multiplayer bit with players that's the problem. But I like the extraction shooter part of it. So if you can come up with like the Elden Ring bosses combined with the roguelike scenario of where you have to get to the end to get your gear out kind of thing from Escape from Tarkov, I think that'd be a good game loop.
Yeah, this is going to be very popular.
It looks really good.
Oh yeah.
When is it?
It doesn't matter what we think of it. This will be popular.
This will be good.
Like it's 100%.
The power of Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Just says 2025. Okay.
If anything, I'm very surprised about how soon they've got a sequel out. Because the DLC came out very recently.
Oh yeah, that's true. And what is this one? Virtua Fighter Project? What is? Oh, Sega.
I have absolutely no idea.
Well, let's see.
Graphics
the
look
visuals.
really nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say the graphics are nice. Ooh, I'm kind of interested in this. So far. If it's a fighting game, I'm in. Maybe. I like fighting games. So we'll see.
Well, I'm interested in showing the fights in like shadow and reflections before you actually show the.
Like I love Street Fighter, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, the old ones, anyways. This is giving me Street Fighter vibes.
I
mean, I still have no idea what the game is, but I like.
I like Virtua
I like
Fighter.
the style of the trailer.
Okay.
I have no idea what the game's about.
I know.
Yeah.
That might be. Oh, here we go. That might be a good thing. We'll get another trailer probably.
I mean,
Okay.
I have strong childhood memories of like playing Tekken with my dad with one pad versus the other. Other than that, I've not been much of a fight guy myself. Solo player.
Okami.
I think they're good sofa games.
Yeah, they're fun.
Just give me Wukong vibes.
Street Fighter 2 is the first game I ever played when I was 4.
Okay.
Who on earth gave you a pad at 4? It's like, yeah, we're gonna
My
kick the
brother.
crap out of her.
What? No, I beat him with Chun-Li because I figured out her fast. I figured out the fast kick, and he got so mad. He was like, "She's cheating. I don't want to play with her anymore." My mom's like, "Just play with your sister. Like, leave me alone."
That's amazing.
Amaze balls.
Soul Calibur's another good one. Yeah, this is pretty.
Yeah, my brother was so crap I beat him at 4.
He's only a few years older than me, though, to be fair.
He's
so.
never lived it down.
Oh no, he's beat me in every single game since. He's like never.
Yeah,
happened
he had
again.
to train. He was like, that was like his anime moment. He's like, I have to train harder to make sure this never happens again.
Now he's Super Saiyan at video games.
Yeah, it's like, I cannot live down this disaster. I don't give. After the Borderlands movie, I don't care about Borderlands at all.
Do you think this will do well? Because the movie did not.
I don't think the movie will hurt it because I don't think anyone saw the movie. But after the recent Borderlands game, like Tiny Tina's and stuff, I'm not into it anyway.
I've never played a Borderlands game, so.
There are part of the Borderlands I liked. I started playing Borderlands 2. I liked the comedy and stuff. And the more I got into it, the more I was like, this is more of a tech demo than a game. It doesn't have like a world I'm interested in or anything. And to me, the movie was like the final nail in the coffin.
Like at least the first, like 2. Yeah, see, let's see, Christian Rockers, looking forward to it. Dan says Borderlands 2 was a lot of fun.
The visuals look really nice so far.
I probably played about halfway through Borderlands 2. But I also played Tiny Tina's Wonderland, I think it was called, with Mike and Josiah. And it was one of the most boring experiences of my entire life. And that's not because of Mike and Josiah, that's because the game was absolutely boring as hell.
Yeah, I mean, I could see the appeal. People liking these games. I never played one. It's kind of giving me Apex vibes. I have played that.
Well, I think the issue is, like, Borderlands 1 was created as a tech demo to showcase we can do all of these different guns. Then Borderlands 2 refined it, and it gave it, like, a personality, gave it a comedy style, which I really liked. And then it seems to have lost its way a bit.
This is all coming in 2025?
And Randy, I think it's Randy Pitchford. I think that's the same guy. But the guy that was praising the movie is the same guy that makes that game.
Okay, there's 9. We're gonna breeze through them because there's 9 of them left still.
Well, yeah, I mean, not all of them need to be shown. Like Outer Worlds was a.
We'll skip that one.
Well,
you guys can tell me.
Outer Worlds was a really popular game, but I never played it, so I don't know anything about it. It's an RPG.
I've never played Outer Worlds.
Me neither.
Either.
I heard it was a good game, but I've also heard that it was very kind of woke.
It reminds me a bit of like a updated Fallout graphics a little bit.
Yeah, yes.
Like
it's that kind of post-apocalyptic thing. Yeah. But I heard that there was bigger. It was a very kind of political game, from what I've heard.
Oh, okay. Oh, music. Gonna skip over that music.
But also it was kind of like they announced it was going to be, so people knew what they were going to get.
Okay, well at least they did that. All right. Anybody in the chat? It's Fallout in Space. Max says. I
don't know anything about the Mafia games.
I've never played them actually. Surprisingly.
All of the men in this room are bound by blood.
Maybe I'll play this one.
Giving me Red Dead vibes, kind of.
2K have made some good games in their time.
It is not forgiving.
Okay, I might get this one.
To betray one is to betray all.
I like the graphics. I said I'm getting it. I decided.
Yourself.
Ian, should I get Mafia 1 and 2? Are they on Steam? Or PlayStation 4.
I do.
He just got married.
Told you, Red Dead vibes of the horses. Oh my god.
This is how Mark feels for every day.
I swear my loyalty. It's a family.
It's a family. Yep, I'm gonna get it.
I flash.
It's a family.
Has to burn like
Ah, Fast and
Mamma
Furious.
mia.
this if I do not keep my oath.
I'm actually disappointed
Ooh.
no one's done this throughout the entire movie. Mamma mia. Like, you have to.
Everyone's telling me they're good. All right, you know what? Maybe I'll check them out. This is my kind of game. It's coming summer 2025, so that gives me time to play the first two. Even though this has the old country, so I'm guessing this is a prequel. Yeah, Sicily in the 1900s.
Makes me want to play the original games because I never did.
I'm gonna have to remind myself to look on Steam after the stream. I don't want to do it now.
And say,
Split-
Mamma mia.
I will. I'll make
Let's do
sure I
that on the
record a
Steam.
video
Mamma
and show
mia.
you Disper. I'll put it in the group
Thank you.
chat.
As
As I'm
an
clicking
Italian
purchase, I'll go
American.
Mamma Mia, and I'll do
Yeah,
this.
thank you.
You're welcome.
You know
Split
what's funny?
fiction.
I actually had patients literally say "Mamma Mia" when they had like a shocking moment. This one stood out to me where they, the gown, of course, is open to the back, so they laid on a table. It's like very cold. The patient goes, "Mamma Mia, it's so cold," and I'm like, "Oh my god, it's real! It's real! I can't believe it!"
Well, I mean,
What is
you can
this?
get the Mafia Definitive Edition for £6 on Humble Store, so...
I'll look into it. I always liked the, I played like Scarface. I liked that one, but I've never played any of the Mafia games.
What
I'm
is
skipping
this?
through. I'm skipping through because I'm not.
This is it. Makes me feel
I just saw
no,
the
it's turning
characters and I'm
into
like, this is very...
What's that game where she was just like, I'm non-binary? It's like, who
yes.
starts a conversation like that? This looks like the same kind of graphic.
Like, this is EA with those characters, and there's a guy who has to instruct them how they can do it, and it's like, oh, this kind of looks like
Temple Run.
what X-Ray and Tugs played, that It Takes Two kind of thing.
Oh my god, I love that game so much.
I have that game. I never played it.
Yeah, but it's that kind of style where you both got different perspectives
developer?
on the same kind of thing.
I think it looks like the same developer, kind of.
Well, I mean, it's not the first game to do that style, but I think it's one of the more well-known ones.
All right, let's just go ahead and skip right ahead.
Here's another one. You play as pigs, and they later become.
Hold on, I'm a little more.
Yeah,
now.
I think this is definitely an It Takes Two kind of game.
2 players
I wanna
to
play
solve
the
the
biggie.
puzzles.
Yeah, you have to work together to solve the stuff. Yeah.
The prison game was really fun.
Oh, I
as
played
well.
that. I never finished it though when it first came out. What the heck is it called? It's not Shawshank Redemption, but
It's not Shawshank at all.
There's a few of those kind
I
of
made
things.
that joke the first time I played it. That's what's in my head instead of the actual name of the game.
There was one game that was just like a first-person shooter kind of version of that, which was also good.
No
Like,
Way
is
Out.
it like
Thank
an-
you, Christian Rocker. Yeah, that one. No Way Out.
There's like an old cowboy game where you can play. You have different skills, but you just shoot the people. That one's really good. I've only played it single player.
Oh, what's this? Is this a soccer game? Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Did you want me to play it?
No,
No.
I really
You
don't
can
care.
skip
I don't
the
like
football.
sports games. I don't like sports games at all.
Yeah, I never really got into them. Thick as Thieves. What's this? I'll turn it up a little bit.
Another night on the town.
I'm not against Thief games. Like, I used to like the original Thief games.
Oh, it's called A Way Out. That's right. Not No Way Out.
This one's
Thief 3 was amazing. I don't like the fact they've had to call it The Hood.
Oh, I don't like this music. Why?
For the same reason they called it The Hood.
Robin in the Hood. She be Robin.
I guess there's a demographic for this type, but I'm not it.
It looks like they've taken the thief mechanics and just ruined it.
It's a little too ostentatious for me.
Yeah, I'm not interested.
It's just a modern version of, like I say, Thief 3 is about as modern as I think you can go.
Oh, no.
The Asylum level of Thief 3 was freaking scary.
This is like
the game changed afterwards. I'm not interested in a cartoon game, yeah. Unless it's got Korean women that you've got to seduce, I'm not interested.
So this has YouTubers in it and stuff. It has Jacksepticeye. It's like a...
I don't even know who that is.
The only time I'm interested in the Irish if we're invading them to take over.
In exchange, we can make you Mecha Man again.
What is this?
What's up, Dad? Bod
Like
superhero with no superpowers. Can't wait.
I already feel like I'm not interested.
I feel like this would give me a lecture about how she's superior to me.
You know what? Help yourself.
Seems
I
kind of
think
boring.
it's the
I'm not...
graphics too that I'm
I don't
not
like the
interested
graphics.
in it.
No. All right.
I would
what's
like to
this?
watch a TV show like that, but not play a game like that. You know what? It makes me think of Dustborn.
Now, Overcooked. I think me and X-Ray played that literally 2 years ago or more.
And it's a very scary game to play with someone like Disbrew who could yell at you.
I don't think I yelled at you. We just didn't even know. None of us knew the game, and so something went wrong, and no one knew why. That was our problem with that game.
That was funny, actually.
Like, we set our kitchen on fire, and nobody knew why we'd done it.
We're like,
It was like,
what do we do?
What's this one? Stage fright?
Who? Never heard of them. Oh, that game. You got way too angry playing that.
That game turned you into a psychopath.
What?
You threw a right tantrum.
No.
I think we've literally just played this out on stream.
More onion.
I told you 1,000 times we didn't need any more onions.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, this was basically what me and X-Ray have just said on the stream. Just repeated.
Hey, it's me back there with the glasses.
You're like, I've never played the game.
Blocking the screen. Rude.
Sure,
What is this game about?
I mean, yeah, we are now halfway through the trailer, and they're just waffling about people watching the trailer.
So we're trailerceptioning.
Yeah.
What was that?
Here we go.
Did you feel that?
Almost at the end.
We're still blue ballsing.
This
bored.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
We are 124 into a 155 trailer.
Okay, next.
A lesson for game trailers: show the pissing game.
Yeah.
In gameplay, actual gameplay.
Yes. Like, this is way too slow already.
Music way too slow already.
Yeah, we're 30 seconds into a 2-minute video, and it's like, you've just shown red balls. If I wanted red balls, I'd just look downwards.
Oh.
Ew.
Ew.
I don't need to know that about you, Disparu.
It's alright, I haven't shaved my coin purse.
Disparu, ew.
All right, Capcom.
God, how far are we into this trailer?
I don't know, but like we're
More than
halfway through. We've just
All right, here
seen
we
the
go.
character.
I like the graphics.
Now that we're actually seeing fighting scenes, that first half of the trailer, if we could just erase that, I think it would be
right?
way more interesting.
Like you don't need to build tension for a trailer.
No. I think if we condensed that into 5 to 10 seconds, that would have been fine.
Mm.
That looks
You didn't
interesting.
actually. Well, from the 20 seconds they showed.
Yeah. I like the graphics.
All I know is that is a guy with a sword fighting people. It's like, okay, great. You and the 500 other games.
All right, I'm just skipping through because apparently these trailers are a minute long and they don't start until 50 seconds. What is this? This must be like some like 80s vibe music.
It's a very weird music compared to the art style
Yeah.
and setting.
Ninja Gaiden. I was gonna say Garden. Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, but again, their issue is They're not advertising an anime, they're advertising a
Ooh.
game. Okay, there you go.
Ooh. I like it. Again, a minute in. I like it though. I like it. All right.
I mean, I'm not a fan of side
was it?
scrollers, but because I'm not good at them, but I understand why this could be really fun for people.
Yeah. I like side scroller games. It depends on the game, but all right. So a couple of the games look good, a couple look stupid. I think I'll definitely look up the Mafia games. I never played the Mafia or Godfather games. I'm probably like them.
I'm mainly interested in the Witcher 4 and the whatever the Sony game. That a lot of people can gaslight me, telling me that if I don't like an ugly woman, I'm gay. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
It's like, if you don't like ugly 45-year-old women,
If you don't have the same taste as me, you're gay.
yeah, if you still want people with the ability to like birth children who aren't men, then you obviously must be into the same people that you're saying shouldn't be playing the women in the video game characters.
We got hold on a second.
Isn't that true, act man?
Andrew Matthews for 2 Mark swears by his knobbed fight stick.
He really likes that the like arcade stick.
Oh yeah, I think Mark would really like that last game that we showed the trailer of.
Fight stick, yeah.
Yeah, the ninja side scroller. It seems like it'd be right up his street.
Absolutely.
I do like Mark's recommendations for like first person shooters though. He's I pay attention to his Twitter and he's like, oh, I recommended this ages ago. It's on sale now. I'm like, okay, bye.
What do you have coming up extra? You got your Sunday stream
Sunday fun day. We're playing Path of Exiles. I think I'm gonna just go down to one character. I know I've been playing the witch, but I'm probably just gonna play my sorcerer character. In the morning. I know I said I was gonna do a furniture building stream today, but I totally didn't because I wanted to spend time with my family. So I might do it tomorrow to build my shelf because I also want to set up my TV.
Nice.
How long does it take us to set up a TV?
Well, the TV has to sit on a shelf, otherwise it's like this room is really small that I've been staying in. So,
yeah, but you're not going to put the shelf up.
Well, I have to move some stuff, and I'm not willing until there's the shelf.
Yeah, makes sense. You don't want to do part of the room.
That makes sense. No, you have to move the stuff so you can put the shelf up.
You know, I love my mother, but she's a freaking hoarder. Okay, she has.
Wait,
like,
what? Now we've brought an entire different person into this.
Yeah, because her clothes are in 3 different rooms. I don't understand how a small woman has clothes in 3 different rooms and
wait, do you live with your?
No,
I thought it was you.
I live, of course, with Mark, but like right now I'm helping out with family stuff. So, yeah, which is why I'm here. So, yeah.
Gotta get a little setup over there.
Yeah, so it's been nice to have like my own setup, but I want to make it more my own, which is why I wanted to get a TV because I don't like watching it on a laptop on a freaking ironing board.
Yeah, no.
To be fair, for like the last 6 years, upstairs I've watched all of my stuff, which is where I watch stuff that I really like when I'm in bed, is when I tend to watch stuff that I actually like. I've watched it on a laptop on a speaker's box because it's the same height as my bed. But I'm like, this'll do. I am legitimately, you know, with like men will just live like this and not see a problem. I am that. That is me.
No, I really just don't like because there's so many wires here, and I'm trying to use the.
Oh, I have lots of wires.
Yeah, I just don't want to have to keep moving the wires back and forth with the ironing board.
Like,
I know.
Anyone that's ever like cabled speakers, there's lots of wires going everywhere. You combine that with various different like audio tech stuff, wires everywhere. But I don't care about the strangest people to me are the ones that are like, oh my god, I'm gonna like hide the cables. No.
I think if
mine are just cables everywhere.
If I had a setup where I didn't have to move things around, I totally get it. So
yeah, no, I get what you're saying because you're not going to do partially and then you got to move stuff around again once you get what you need. Like it's just do it all in one shot. I get it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what do you have going on, Disparu? What videos you got coming out?
I want to cover the reviews of Craven, even though probably no one else cares, just because I think one of my favorite things is covering the professional critics when they really hate something, because it's like they finally get to unleash and tell us the truth about something for once. And so I think that'll be interesting. Apart from that, I want to stream probably Marvel Rivals at some point, and I don't know. We'll see. Maybe Helldiver's new.
I know. I want to
race.
play. I want to play that. Maybe we can stream it at some point if we all get time to.
Yeah, 'cause
Oh my
The-
god, with
the-
the vehicle? It looks so cool.
And the Illuminate. The
haven't
Illuminate
played
have
since
now
last
arrived
time
in the
we played.
universe.
Oh, the new
The new race.
species?
Yeah.
Race species?
We'll-
yeah.
We'll try to get it together. I know we're all busy in
Maybe
this
we'll
holiday
do a Saucy
season too.
gaming. We'll revisit.
Yeah, we need to. I have my Scream stream tomorrow. I'm not sure what we're gonna be playing. Last week we had Mike join us, and he was a big old baby, and I loved it. He was so scared. It might be Demonologist tomorrow, though. I don't know. I let Capable Gentleman pick because that's the only stream he does. So I'm like, scary game, you pick. So we'll see tomorrow, probably 8 p.m. Eastern. And then I'm actually going to be doing a paint by number stream. I got the idea from X-Ray Girl. She used to do these. I'm doing a Christmas one. I'm waiting for it to come in the mail. I tried
love
doing a
that.
Halloween one, but it came in real late. So I'll just do that sometime in the middle of the year. It's fine. But so I got a Christmas one coming. It should be here soon. And also, I pinned my food and vlog channel in the chat. If you guys are interested in any of that, it's really fun making content over there. I'm liking it a lot, especially since I added I'm gonna do vlogs over there too. It's fun. So if you guys want to subscribe to that, that would be great. I would
How
love
do you
that.
do a food vlog?
No, food and vlog. Like it's vlogs, and there's a lot of the vlogs will have food
Oh,
in it
okay.
too. Yeah. And
I
no,
thought
it's
it
fun.
meant like you
X-Ray's
vlogged as
on
you
there.
cooked or something.
I actually have to upload a short that we recorded 7 months ago over summertime trying the
I'm not
Buc-ee's nuggets.
surprised because I do the same thing.
I
just
found it and I
forget
was like,
about
oh
content.
yeah, we did this. Trying the Buc-ee's nugget little snacks.
Oh my god,
I never uploaded
that.
I forgot to upload it. So this week
You
I'll
need to
get
do a
that uploaded.
documentary on how buffaloes have wings.
I will. And
With you. Maybe we should just do that in person.
They don't have wings.
If Disparu narrates it, it'll be a smash.
No,
hit.
because I'd be in the restaurant going, where do these come from?
Where
the
are
buffalo
the
wings.
wings on the buffalo?
But they don't have wings.
I want my money back. Yeah. But anyways, guys,
This seems like fraud to me.
I'm sure, Disparu probably had a lot of caffeine, so he's probably going to still be up for a bit, but it's freaking 5 a.m. for him right now. So we're going to go.
Oh, but close.
Close. Thanks for hanging out. 4-hour Saucy, our longest yet, I think. We will be back next week. Make sure you watch X-Ray tomorrow and me.
Gotta be
and
long
Disparu's
somewhere.
videos, so... All right. We're going to go say hi to Project Egg Roll. That's where I'm going to send you guys.
My brother, feeling great.
Someone that isn't long. What? It's literally what the nation is renowned for.
And on that note, bye.
Say it.